150 in here. I'm down.
Well, you'll call him 50, so you got 100.
150. It's all in this hand.
All right, welcome back, guys. Sorry for that delay. Had some internet issues. Missed a few hands here, but we're back now. No crazy hands yet.
It's only if they tell them they have to turn it in. They have to turn over their hand.
Yeah, it's showing the hand though, not turning in the button.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you have to show the hand to get rid of the net button.
Ace king versus twos. Flop full house versus turn full house. Deuces full aces and aces full kings.
You can't just win a hand and buff your hand.
Nope.
It's gonna be a big hand here, coming straight back.
So y'all.
Welcome back, guys.
Or if they,
Yeah.
so
You can't tell
where
someone.
you tell them someone to show your hand, you get their net one?
Yeah.
Down to save one.
Yeah, me too. Didn't know it was a rule.
We did it like the same time.
Harris is just a call here.
I actually made it up.
Gonna let JD barrel with some bluffs,
That's what I was saying. I was like, oh, great. I don't know. Try it.
hoping that JD has some sort of ace queen, queen jack, ace five hand. He's gonna be able to get some value from here.
It's the best way.
Ace king and ace 10 are the worst case scenarios, but there's not too many combos of each. So he's mostly hoping for these ace queen, ace jack, queen jack type hands. Harris probably looking to put in a raise here. Really charge some of those hands I just mentioned. Maybe something like 1,200 bucks. Makes it 1,000.
I got where it came straight.
I love that, yeah.
Got the scrubs on and everything.
It was pure confidence.
It's hilarious. It's awesome to have it do.
Most of Harris's bluffs here probably come from hands like King 10, King Queen, something like that. King Jack maybe. It is a little bit tough to come up with bluffs here, so you're going to want to have hands that make it less likely your opponent has a boat, and you're trying to get folds from hands like pocket queens or the weakest ace X hands like ace 5, ace 4. It's going to be a little bit value heavy against most players, I think. Raising here, it's typically going to lean towards value. JD's going to just rip it all in here. Nightmare spot for Harris. Loses to ace king and ace 10. Pocket kings, pocket 10s. Obviously, he's not loving this spot at all. Putting in the value raise and getting it jammed right back in his face. And if you think Harris's hand is hard to come up with bluffs in this river check raise, imagine what he's thinking, trying to think how JD is coming up with bluffs here when he 3-bet jams. Very tough spot. If JD's bluffing here, his bluffs are mainly going to come from his weakest ace X, which is kind of a strange concept. It's more utilized in pot limit Omaha, but you can actually turn some weak trips into spots like this to get your opponent to full worse boats like pocket 2s, pocket 10s, something like that. Harris is just trying to decide if JD's ever value jamming worse or if he's finding bluffs here.
This place has got a little outer system. free beer arrives.
4.4K to call to win about 11.6.
There is, yeah.
Has been
Yeah.
2 months.
They keep
or-
manipulating it.
Pretty sick.
Since the other place opened.
Yeah,
This doesn't. Well, yeah.
a couple of weeks after when this place was dead.
Yeah.
He's got to be good about 38% of the time here.
If you drink fast enough, you can let them blind you off and come out ahead.
Most players are only rejamming boats here, so he's just trying to decide if JD ever jams a hand like Ace Queen or Queen Jack. I don't envy this spot at all. Quite the long tank here. You know what they say? They say, think long, think wrong. Looks like he's trying to get a live tail now. He's thought through the permutations he can imagine on the hand, but
He finally snapped. He's had enough of
just
it.
going to let it go. Good, excellent fold here.
Bluff. Oh.
And JD's going to show, get rid of his knit button.
Queen Jack?
I almost called the fucking clock.
Wow. Did they stand?
I was gonna say, is that even like, is that?
It's like a moneymaker fold right there.
Wow.
In fact,
I saw you go back and forth between the one chip call and the one in the fold.
like, yeah, that's funny. Like, this is like, this is like,
Good, too good.
Awesome.
yeah. Just report out that.
Excellent fold there. Just a tough spot.
You can see every hand on
Are you in
stream.
Dallas or are you a different?
Very tough to find a three bet jam bluff there. Figures if you are bluffing, excellent bluff. I'll let you have this one.
Think he's on it.
Can't be the guy folding boats correctly. Jeez.
Harris is going to make it a 150. Jack 8 suited from the cutoff. Mike's going to come along with the ace 9. Yeah, Mark, Teak and Phil are always really fun guys to play with. It's always gonna be a good game. They've got that mysterious element of generating action
Great value.
all around them.
Yeah, right.
Big whiff for both players here. Neither player's liking it too much. Harris does block some of the middle strength hands here, like King Jack, Jack 10 that may continue. So he stabs and takes it down.
I'm not scared. I would have called you with the boat. No folding. I don't know.
AJ, you
I
would've
don't
called me
have a
fucking-
fold button.
You would have called me King Queen, probably.
No, straight I wouldn't call. King Queen, no, I would probably two pair. I was like Queen Jack would be
Ace 5 suited for Danny.
that how it works?
Definitely good enough for an open. It's the new Ace King, they say. Everybody knows spades is the nut suit.
For nip button.
Take it down. Good result. Ace 5 suited has so much playability. You can see flops and
Me too.
play with some excellent implied odds. You can push your equity 3 bets and 4 bets with some bluffs.
Appreciate it.
Six
You
to
can
go.
play some of those lower board textures that your opponents aren't expecting. Very solid hand.
6 to go.
Still got the nickname on. Few players have their knit buttons left. Should affect the game flow a little bit. Might see some bigger bets than players may normally elect to use.
Yeah, I officially hate the seat. Can't see shit.
Ace-8 suited for JD. Gonna come along. Flush draw for JD. Now, not much here for Bridge Mike.
Steer the boat. Oh, what the heck?
Okay. Played a lot.
Really?
There's like a
JD elects just for the call. Bridge Mike's picking up an open ender now. He's just gonna check it back. Take his free card.
I haven't played it in a long time.
Good card to bluff with here for Mike.
I was like at drop.
Maybe get JD to fold some of his Jack X holdings.
I played no and then haven't played since.
What game?
JD's gonna go for some thin value. Try and get called by a hand like King Queen, King 10.
Fix the shit. Move the shit.
Just gets it through.
Shoot the harpoon. You don't do anything.
It used to be all the pros advocated for your high flush draws, like your ace high flush draws. Like, oh, you don't want to be check raise bluffing on the flop because you have showdown values, so it's better to call. But the modern solvers have pretty much gone backwards on that. They pretty much say whenever you have strong flush draws, you just want to get money in the pot so that when your opponent has a worse flush, you get the maximum. It doesn't really care about the showdown value. The worst flush draws, like the 5 and 6 high flush draws, have reverse implied odds, so they don't want to bloat the pot. So it's a little bit inverted thinking from how it used to be when approaching flush draws on the flop.
Yeah.
You get like $7,000.
It's open a lot. I have it open all the time.
I've never played it.
You playing with controller?
No, I play the keyboard.
AJ's going to put the 4-bet in here with King Queen offsuit in position.
Is that the move?
Bit of a large sizing here.
50-50.
Both players 4x'd it. 3x the blind, 4x 3-bet, and a 4x 4-bet.
50-50?
We've seen most of the 4-bets from these players being on the smaller side in the 2.2 to like 2.7x kind of range.
One guy.
So a bit interesting to see a bit of the larger 4-bet sizing, especially in position. Typically in position you don't need to go as large because you're going to have the advantage post-flop, being able to see what your opponent does before you act. And you see the larger sizings out of position. But certainly a fine play. King Queen offsuit, low frequency, getting some pressure on your opponents. And you see here he gets Danny to fold a mountain of equity with the pocket 10s.
Thank you.
No. This is the one I wanted to give you. It's mine.
I would have gone all in.
Very tricky to play 10s in that kind of spot. You're going to be out of position every single street.
How hard you press the key
The pot's going to be over $2,000.
You can breathe now.
Looks like they were about 6K effective or so. So it would have been an SPR 3.
Writing macros like altered percentages on their analog keyboard.
Not quite deep enough to purely set mine. You have to expect that you're ahead of a decent portion of your opponent's range. And Danny just figures it's too speculative a spot to see if you can find a better spot.
You know what I mean?
It's really good.
If we're gonna dive deep into the alternate universe, let's do it right.
It's not like Gran Turismo.
Appreciate you guys tuning back into the stream. Sorry for that delay we had there. The internet wasn't cooperating as well as we would have liked. Had to get our OBS software working again and the stream delay back on, so we missed a few hands.
I had a great hand.
Back in the action though, plenty to be had here.
The graphics are like amazing, but that's like part of half the fun. It's kind of cartoony.
I heard Ubisoft is coming out with a new FPS and it's really good.
Yeah,
There's one going viral right now.
X-Defiant, yeah.
X-Defiant, yeah. That's
X-Defiant's really
It's pretty good. It's fun.
All I know is Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII.
Danny able to get rid of his knit button here.
Earthbound.
Daniel, I mean.
You were playing like Mega Man. Was that you?
No, Chrono Trigger. I also played Mega Man, but
Mega
Chrono
Man?
Trigger was my favorite game ever.
I don't know Chrono Trigger.
I played a lot of the Apex, so.
Oh, you Duck Hunter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Figured you had a purr.
You and your purse.
Yeah, always good to see these players here making good laydowns, good value bets, good bluffs. Very exciting.
Taylor Swift's not?
Everyone here is very capable.
On the trigger.
Definitely find some unique plays that you might not normally be able to see at the table.
But I can't remember.
Which Mike here with aces again. I believe this is the second time this session, and he's going to make it big.
Man, what a field.
AJ went for a
Is this
5x open, and Bridge Mike puts it right back. Big 3-bet. Nearly a 7x 3-bet.
I actually have it.
I'm sorry.
I got the boys.
For sure.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if he folds, he just gets $100.
I tried.
You
I
think about it,
tried.
right? Like if he folds, he just makes $100. If he folds, he just makes $100. So like,
That's 2 in a row.
2 in a row?
I
got the
was
first
happy when he
thought-
started
okay.
looking at the nit button.
you know, that's 2 nip button? No, he's got
Again?
Let's just take a break.
You wanna go right?
Take a break?
Calm it down. Calm it down a little
Sorry,
bit.
AJ.
One
No,
round.
no, not for me.
No,
Not
that's
for
okay.
me.
It's good.
For my heart.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's bad for my heart health.
No, it's better.
Yes, yes, I'm afraid.
We should definitely keep it on
around
hold
it,
again.
too.
I'm just saying.
AJ, with these kids in the game,
Yeah,
like,
with
you're
this-
fucking, it's like printing $100
This
a
lineup, we
30
need.
No.
37 hands in here.
$2 an hour for you, buddy.
Trying to get him a break.
Kickback, you know?
Just a little break.
Got plenty of time left in the night. Make some moves. Run it up.
Heads up, you should just flat it.
Danny's got the 9s
Give me a
now.
chance to get there.
I was thinking of raising.
Very solid hand.
Yeah, that would have worked well.
Yeah.
He had aces.
I know.
Yeah.
I saw you.
Gonna get some action from AJ.
Fold, I was pissed.
I played a sick one like that. Like,
Not a bad flops for the 9s, especially with the 9 of hearts.
it was one guy, and then both of us, the other 2 of us had the button. We're in the hand. 3 ways.
Gonna take it down
And,
straight away.
I had an overpair, I had like 9s. The other guy had like 7, 8, and the other guy had like 6s or something. And like, it was like
Yeah, one night we
something like that, right? Basically, like turn a 9 river for like a boat or something. And everyone, like, I had top boat. So the guy had a straight, and the other guy had like bottom, like trips or something, like a river trips. With 2 nip buttons, like yeah, I mean.
See Daniel up 2K here. Seinfeld up 2K. Colin up 1.5. Danny and Bridge with a
I wouldn't run around.
modest
I never,
couple
like,
$100
I
bucks.
was like never folding, right? Like I'm never fucking folding. Overpaired last 2 in the game, like
Nine next.
we weren't even that deep. Like, it was just like I'm never gonna fold.
Danny's gonna open it up in the hijack here. Yeah, the $50 straddle on, so he's going for a 3x open here. King 10 offsuit. And look at some action from the straddle here. AJ's queen 8 suited.
It went flop top straight, flop straight, and the other guy had like a straight. In the second
Could 3-bet a hand sometimes like this out of the blind.
I voted up. So we got it all in on.
Very low frequency, but definitely fine to continue, getting a great price. Both players flopping a little piece here. AJ's gonna turn the gutter straight away, giving Danny 2 pair.
By the way, just saying.
Oh, I forgot.
What you get?
Wouldn't your aces full of kings would have qualified for high?
And now the flush comes in.
It was.
If Danny didn't like his hand before, he certainly doesn't like it now. And AJ's also been downgraded, but he's still gonna go for some value.
Making up shit now.
I know.
Making up shit.
It wasn't up there now.
It wasn't at the time.
Waiting for a straight.
That's just a little shit.
I believe Danny just folded.
Turn it on.
Don't think he called. Probably better for Danny to turn his hand into a bluff rather than call.
Free rolling now.
Let's wait till he wins his next hand.
He has the 10 of hearts in his hand.
I like that idea.
Having the king and the 10 blocks, you know, queen 10, king queen
Everybody wants to go.
to make
Let's
the
go.
straight.
Let's go. Fuck
He
it,
could
you want to?
bluff for
I'll
a
take
small
2.
sizing to try and fold out some better 2 pairs or sets that would just win at showdown.
I'll take 2, but everybody pays me like twice as much somehow if I.
Definitely fine to just let it go though.
Everybody gets 2 buttons.
When your opponent bets, they do have a good amount of queen X.
Do you have enough?
That would actually be cool.
And then you remind someone.
These kids are gonna have to post. They're gonna have to like.
Colin's going to squeeze it up out of his big blind. Ace 9 suited.
Escrow, but
You could have
No, if
3
you remind somebody, you get double. You get 4.
Oh, 4. Okay. If you remind someone.
Get some action from the 3rd blind here.
Okay, so do we just take up another roll?
what?
We all just put in another roll?
AJ flops enough equity here to get in trouble, but just going to let it go straight away.
He's added These guys really like making up rules as we go along.
we said if you ask about the rules, you get another button. Bro.
Just trying to make sure.
Let's make it so dumb movies.
So if you're too stupid to listen, you got 3 buttons for you.
You just talk so much, I don't know when to listen and when not to. Ooh.
Let us know in the chat where you're tuning in from. If you're playing somewhere or watching from somewhere.
No, he's got feelings. Come on.
I'm sorry, JD. I didn't mean it.
Someone's got to carry the show, buddy, you know?
That's fair.
Seinfeld with pocket fives.
Who else is going to start conversation about BattleBit if not me?
You're here to pay the blinds, buddy. That's your job. You play the blinds, I'll do the talking.
And a set for Seinfeld straight away.
Only you've heard some of the things Kyle said before you wouldn't.
Unfortunately, JD only has 1 club here. This would be a beautiful flop for 10-8 of clubs, but he's just got the 10.
Yeah.
Too much. I would have called 100 though.
Are you making
Round
shit up?
out.
No, green chip game.
How's that rule work?
More rules.
Because the biggest blind is 1 chip. That's the smallest denomination. That's
It's
like
also
in
just
play.
obnoxious, so don't do it.
You can't open a 60.
Even in bet 60 a minute ago, he told you for 50.
Who did?
No
61 down, no
GTO
jack.
2.5
Did you?
extra.
I wasn't paying attention.
You snap folded, that's why you didn't know.
It was against you and you snapped it.
Players are talking about what raise sizes are acceptable in the game. They want to keep some of the red chips out of the pot just to move it along a little bit quicker. You see that sometimes in the higher stakes. That's why they just go for 75 instead of 65 or
I was going
60.
to find out one way or the other.
It's also chop pots. If there's like
A lot of really good players
I know
opt
that,
for
like, the green chip goes.
2.5 or 2.3x kind of open sizes, and then they just don't want to deal with it. They're like, yeah, just make it 50 or make it 75. Let's move on.
See, that's why we should just keep it.
you'd get an extra button.
I would have called.
I thought it was just open jam.
6, 7 all. No, no, you should.
Open jam, open jam. Do you have aces? Good. Yeah, I'm bad.
No 7 deuce game tonight, it looks like. Just the Nick game. Colin's going to open up his jacks.
Gave a change.
He used to deal underground. He makes a
One
lot
of the
of
most
change.
beautiful hands ever made. AJ's going to go for a 3-bet bluff here with King 9 off. Definitely an okay play.
The rule is whatever JD wants in the current hand. That's
Colin
what
hasn't
you
been
get.
too active though,
Get all in,
so
I'm winning,
maybe
I
a
don't see
little
shit,
a little
but I'm
frisky.
no, that's
Colin's
something
range
else.
is going to be slightly stronger than you might expect.
Take it
Get over
easy.
$10 every time. Yeah.
He's going to go ahead and put in the 4-bet. Take it down. Free 340.
Like this guy calls over, I want some chip. Like, pass it off.
Definitely tempting sometimes with the pocket jacks, pocket 10s, even pocket 9s sometimes to just call 3-bets. But when you're deep and against capable opponents, they're perfectly fine to put in some 4-bets occasionally, especially with jacks.
Next hand.
This hand?
Next hand, next hand.
There's a lot to be said for taking down money without having to see a flop.
Yeah, I agree, next hand.
I've had good hands all night though, so it's just going to be that kind of night for me.
Ace-jack for Daniel.
Thought I was joking, but I wasn't.
Danny's going to put in a 3-bet here from the small blind.
30-75.
Ace-queen suited.
I know, that's why I was so tilted.
Goes a bit larger here. It's like 4x plus the limped money.
Yeah, it went high end, 5K.
You didn't call my high hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have drawn different. You would have got the $5.
And the funny thing about that was JD actually got aces for the king before he didn't call it out. JD would have got 5,000.
That's a different hour. This is a new hour.
No, yeah. No, it was
Back up to 70 viewers. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. Apologize again for the delay.
JD, you run
Looks
back.
like we're starting the net game over.
It's like in this game. We got
Take this opportunity again to show you the barcode if you'd like to play in the game. You can contact Mallory. You can get in on the stream game. We got several streams at all of our locations.
Did you show last time?
No, because I didn't need to. I had to get a hand.
Huh?
I think that just counts as it's a visual game, but it's all
I'm just taking out your tip, Nick. I'm just
Say,
taking
no, I
track.
gotta make up now.
Yeah, I can track.
AJ's going to get a little loose here. Queen 4 suited.
Come on,
Raising it up in the hijack. Middle position.
So, put it on every week. Put Nick on
It's been a
every
bad down for J.
Worst case scenario, we can just pretend he had ace queen. Oh, I thought it was ace queen of hearts at showdown. And, you know, explains it away just like that.
I'll split with you. 20 minutes.
He's going to bet here with his backdoor flush draw.
I think there's only one.
5 or 6 gives him a straight draw as well with an overcard.
Mallory, tell the 5K winner, open seat.
AJ does block some hands here, like queen jack, king queen.
Hey, you never know. And then he's gonna like take all of our money.
Makes it less likely his opponent has a decent hand that can continue.
As long as it wasn't my money.
So the queen is somewhat significant.
Pulled a 5K, and it came up here and like tripled up.
Yeah.
He's going to river 4 and be good here. Outdraws bridge might. He's going to take his showdown value.
Dude, I saw that video. So highlighted.
Where's too strong?
Able to get rid of his nip button just like that.
Like, you just cost yourself like
If he doesn't hit the 4, it'd be interesting to see if he decides to fire the river or just give up.
I mean, maybe you save yourself
Hard to
like
say
$2,000
how strong Bridge Mike is there in that spot with his whole range. He may be looking to check a lot of his top pairs and let Bridge Mike bluff since the Nick game is on. So he may trap at a little bit higher frequency, make it a little bit dangerous to play
We'll
against.
see. It's I don't know.
I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Danny with the 8-6 suited.
Oh shit. Seinfeld's hat's on backwards,
And
everybody.
Seinfeld 3-betting the 3-4 suited.
I'm already 3 betting.
Rally cap.
If you're going to play the 3-4 suited here, I definitely like a 3-bet better than a call.
It is an option.
I would generally fold most of the time, 3-bet some of the time. 3-bet a little bit more often if I think Danny's getting out of line. Put some pressure on, especially with the Nick game.
Good luck. Have fun. GG.
Neither player loving this flop too much. Danny's got the bottom end of a gut shot, and Seinfeld's just not really liking the 3 hearts, just hoping Danny snap folds. That's a little bit large here. 300 and about 600, about half pot. Monotone boards like this typically advocate for a smaller sizing, somewhere around 25% pot. Your opponent's continuing ranges on boards like that are fairly inelastic, meaning if they're going to continue, they're going to continue almost regardless of the bet. So you just bet smaller with most of your range.
I dealt that coveted hand with him too. Yes. 7-8.
Sometimes you're able to entice some bluffs that way as well. People think you're weak. Seinfeld with aces now.
Nothing but cooler. That hand was a cooler. 2 people with ace king, 1 person with 7-8 off, 8-8 tray, whatever.
They're just dead.
And AJ with pocket queens.
Yeah.
We've seen this before.
Stevens would have lost the 90K.
Looking down at queens and beautiful hand, and you're just going to run straight into aces.
Yeah, but like, still.
525.
You think so, still?
AJ makes it 525.
Oh, sorry. I mean, that's not what I meant.
Seinfeld might make it
Disagree with
Yeah.
make it $1,400 or so.
I'm sure poker players are.
Seinfeld is going to be in position post flop, so he doesn't need to go too large with most of his range.
you. With one on the poker bench.
1,200. Again, about 2.5x the previous bet.
I keep don't want to pull it because it's right here, and I think it's like already been taken.
How much is one?
AJ deciding if he wants to flat or maybe jam. Definitely knows Seinfeld can have some 4-bets here that are not nutted hands. He's got bluffs here. It's not going to just be aces or kings. He doesn't necessarily want to have to hit a queen or play out of position, but looks like he's just going to take a flop. Perfectly fine. An interesting board texture here for both players. AJ will have some pocket kings here, even though he didn't 5-bet to protect his 4-betting range. Very common nowadays. And AJ's going to have much more Jack X here. He's going to have a couple combos, Ace-Jack suited, Ace-Jack of spades, Ace-Jack of clubs. Pocket jacks, only one combo for quads. Seinfeld's not too scared. He's expecting AJ to have some of the remaining combos of Ace-King here, maybe some King-Queen suited. AJ here blocks some of the bluffs, though. Some of the hands like Ace-Queen that might c-bet this board. He beats the bluffs that Seinfeld has in his 4-betting range, like Ace-5 or Ace-4 suited, maybe Ace-10 suited. May opt to just let it go. No heart in his hand, we'll see. Just gonna float one. Very interesting turn card here. Got 2 royal draws. Any jack, any king makes a boat. Overall, I think this is going to be slightly better for AJ's range now. But definitely tricky to play. It's going to be similar amounts of nutted hands for both players. Might be slightly better for AJ. Seinfeld's not too scared though. He's still going to go for some value, and he may even opt to turn his hand into a bluff sometimes on certain runouts. Hard to say. These spots can get really tricky when ranges are so narrow. AJ's hoping now that Seinfeld was barreling some of his suited wheel hands that had flush draws that he's ahead of. With 2 kings and 2 jacks, it's much less likely that his opponent has one of them.
Check.
Shut up, John.
Nothing.
My thinking was it's better for the caller because the caller has more king queen and king jack suited, even though all the combos are on the board, whereas the 4-better almost always only has ace king. I don't know if that's entirely accurate, just my personal thinking. A handful extra combos. Most of the 4-bet bluffs are ace heavy.
Oh.
I do, I want it.
Actually, C8. C8 that game has to be. That game has to be so good.
That's why the size of it.
I don't even know what they're playing.
Yeah, no worries.
You angling us over here? You
Kind of
angling
plays
us?
with a 2-5 here.
JD gonna flop straight here with a Jack 8. That's about as good as it gets.
Applies the alcohol for the table.
You did have a funny looking face.
We wish I drank.
Was Bill for?
You were trying to figure out what
Except
happened.
for Little Rock, I think.
I gotta find those home games.
Yeah, but the 4-bet caller is gonna have an equal amount of all those same hands
Oh my god.
and these stack dips.
Good flop for me. Good flop for me.
Isn't it?
I grew up in Pine
That's why I said it's hard to say. It's very, very similar.
That's the JD
Well,
we remember.
softball, we had a lot of tournaments of hot
Not
springs.
JD, but
Okay, that's from my grandparents.
Yeah, they have incredible softball.
Usually plays have 10s.
I would spend,
Ahead of their time.
yeah,
real
stick it to him with those 10s. Like he
are you
doesn't
familiar with like the
7
lakes?
Yeah.
So I,
He just been torturing.
my grandparents lived on Lake Catherine.
You just
growing
fold
up,
ages.
so
Let me hear the
I
button,
spent the
buddy.
summers out there.
Give me the walk
One of the
again.
bigger
He needs 7 more. 6 more. Indeed.
You didn't try to 75.
A lot of these players aren't incorporating 5-bet ranges, so they're still gonna have, even as a 4-bet caller, some ace king, pocket kings.
I was confused what happened. I had no idea. What I thought happened was that you made it 175, and then he thought it was 75 and he called. And then they go, actually, it's 170. He goes, oh, okay. And then he made it 550. I know that's
Ace 10 of hearts versus 9-3.
I was like, what?
I didn't do that.
Gonna defend the straddle here with suited hand.
Because I called the.
Yeah, you were under the gun.
Or like whatever. I don't know what's going on.
I made it 150. You made it
You
5.
made it 75. You made it 175.
Yeah, I thought you straddled the 50. That's why like sizing was.
Done as well.
Yeah, that's why we were all confused.
No, the button would be on the
I could have sworn.
Because you were under the gun. Yeah.
5, 10, 25, 50. Yeah, he's got it.
Then I was like, maybe he straddled 75 actually.
Check, check.
I mean, that's why it was weird. I don't know.
2 pair for Danny.
Good production because the light.
It is a spade, so he can't get too out of line, but certainly liking his hand here.
Oh, there's a 100 in there, and then it makes it green for him.
Colin still has some showdown value with his ace high, not looking to get out of line.
Almost jammed
So
the
he
flop.
didn't even know he was 3-betting.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was three betting.
He thought he was just raising it. I was like, I don't know if this is a 4-bet, but I don't even know if anybody knows. I don't know if anybody in the hand even knows.
In my mind, like,
But
that flop was gonna be great.
Yeah.
I thought that flop
He didn't know.
was gonna be a lot bigger.
Nobody knew.
So you got away cheap.
Not even a razor.
Not really.
I raised the middle, and then, you know what I mean?
And then you fold to
Probably
your
would
net
have still
out.
flatted.
Then you fold to your net out. You fucking stupid size bets worked out. You
I know you're.
gonna straddle? Oh, okay.
He doesn't play much? Over Polina's poker?
I don't know.
Harris with the aces now. Going around the table. We've had aces several times tonight.
Never know. Could have folded, I guess.
I haven't been there. Oh yeah? You play anything? Any luck?
Seinfeld, when you play big pots, you look like you're terrified always. No, you're not. Like your face, you're like, like eyebrows like
It's part of the strategy to get people to bluff him, you know?
sitting there with aces, like, ah.
Yeah, I mean,
You see the board though?
Yeah.
No, I can't answer. You made more than I would have.
Question is, are the worst board for aces or queens?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have met the turn then. Scary turn.
Oh.
Okay, I get it. Everybody gets rockets.
Man, I'm trying to trick you over here. It's so rude.
Did you have aces earlier in the hand we played? Rock on the set?
No, I didn't see it.
Okay. I was just curious to see all the aces.
I was bluffing. A little zero equity, you know?
Just firing.
That's the best way to do it. And you don't even care what.
Ace 10 suited here for Daniel on the hijack. Gonna make it 3x the blind. Get a 3-bet from Colin. Queen 10 suited. Gonna be dominated by Daniel here, but very standard 3-bet in position.
Aces. I did have aces actually. I knew you had a boat.
Very bad turn here for Colin. Makes his second pair, but he's outkicked here by Daniel. Tough board texture to play. A little bit better for the caller than the 3-better.
Get him, Mallory.
Just feel it.
Feeling it.
I wasn't at the river for value. I was just like, yeah,
This guy's the best player at the table. I don't want to tell you otherwise. Definitely not. Even without him. Yeah. Because we know all people who win
Still got the
tournaments
net
are
game
all
on.
the best players.
Looks like Bridge Mike and Colin, maybe the only players
I'm
left.
better than Jamie Gold.
You're better than this.
I have to.
Bridge Mike's gonna be looking to mix it up, and get rid of his nip
He
button.
plays 5-10. Yeah, he plays 5-10.
And Colin's got the ace king.
There you go.
I'll bump it up straight away, 450.
5-10 out of necessity, right?
And Harris looking down at ace queen, facing an open and a 3-bet. He's just gonna let it go. Pretty much a 4-better fold kind of spot there.
How was that experience playing with them?
Okay, I remember. It was years ago. I think it might have also been at the Venetian, actually. It was either there or
Mike's gonna
there.
flop. Top pair,
Yeah, he
second
was
kicker.
kind of- I didn't have good vibe from him, but again, it was a long time ago. I mean, apparently he screwed over his friend for $6 million, so that tells you what kind of guy he is.
Colin's gonna go for a turn stab here. He's a little bit tricky spot.
Yeah.
Can be easy to get out of line here
Yeah.
if you're turn
I mean,
stabbing too
everybody's
much.
gotten so much better in the last 5 years, so who knows now, but like back in the day, he was...
Gonna take the showdown.
It is here. I lost
I believe Colin loses the net game here. Gonna owe 100 apiece.
Are they slowly getting worse?
3 money.
Depends on the time of day. Depends on the day also. Some days it's really good. Some days it's like not like
Hey, we'll get that
Would
knit
you
pack.
say
We'll
ignition's
get
the
that
best
knit
for
pack
American
for you.
use, or...
Yeah, I appreciate appreciate that.
Who lost?
Don't worry about it.
You got your money.
Beginning of
Top
COVID, I
secret.
was ignition and global, but...
Site's terrible. Don't check it out.
As long as I got bid. As long as I got bid.
Yeah. Bot infested.
JD gonna open up the ace-5 suited here in the cutoff.
I'm pretty sure I played against
Gonna put in a 3-bet.
On ignition?
How can you tell?
Yeah, nonstop.
It's not as much as you would think. Because he took a really obscure line and it was like
Really
Full
good
time
value.
banked. Full time banked every street.
it was actually not that. It was just a really weird line that he uses. And it was like
And you like had to check it to make sure it was... And like, okay, it was like...
weird things.
That was Linus.
I was watching the ACR tables and this guy
Seinfeld, big winner so far.
was kind of
Up
bad.
almost $6,000. Daniel at
Found out
3,000.
later it was Linus, so I think maybe I'm the bad one.
Yeah. But and that's the thing, a lot of these plays are really unintuitive, you know?
What's his name on Instagram? Born to Soul?
Yeah.
King Jack on the button for Seinfeld. Gonna get some action from Daniel.
Purified face on.
No, you're not doing the eyebrows.
You have resting terrified faces, what are you saying?
Ace queen 3. How can I win?
I know it's a tough spot.
I'll bet 60.
We've been over this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Clock. I mean, 4.
Oh my god. Wow.
Daniel has the gut shot for the wheel now. Seinfeld still able to barrel here, blocking some of the stronger top pairs, but just elects to take the river.
You win.
I do win. I have an ace. Come on, it's gonna be hard for you.
Make him put out that extra time.
Let her ride.
He was too terrified
I had
to put in any more money.
poker guys.
Bet your own hand, Don.
I don't wanna.
Bet your hand, and then when he tries to bluff you by raising, then you have to call. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then it's scary.
Then you win the most money.
Then he puts on the face.
Yeah, then I put on the face. Damn straight I do.
He doesn't have the face, but inside you know.
3,000.
Inside you know.
Did I forget? No. Everything happens for a reason.
And it really happens for a reason.
It's the first time I forget to strat.
Harris is going to open up the button here, ace-9 offsuit. He's going to open up most of his ace-X, if not all of it.
Anyone watch the new season of Black Mirror?
I haven't yet.
I heard it
First two episodes were not good.
I heard it was horrible.
Get some action from Bridge Mike from the small blind.
I didn't like the first two episodes. It was very
No spades for either player.
Kind of boring, actually.
Harris has to be a little bit careful.
Black Mirror, you can do anything, you know?
No, I don't think
The blinds tend to continue with more suited combos than
there's only 5 or 6.
than anybody else. Button's still opening up very many suited combos, but typically the blinds are defending the hands like 9-3, 10-3,
That one's really good.
10 deuce, jack 3 suited. The buttons open up those hands a little bit less
That's what I
often.
thought about the first
So typically the blinds have more flushes.
Yeah.
Bridge Mike did complete out of the small blind, so it removes a lot of those combos. So you'll find in live poker, the small blind, big blind completing ranges can sometimes be similar.
Thank you.
Wait till it's over.
Yeah, like you want like
Especially when the big blind or the straddler isn't squeezing nearly often enough.
like weird murder mysteries and like I don't know.
Sounds good. Remember, you don't like
It was
murder mysteries?
alright. No, I do, but like it was just not very Black Mirror like.
10s for Danny, 7s for Bridge Mike, and ace queen for Daniel out of the small blind. He's going to put in a big bet here. Not trying to play out of position post flop.
7? Can I see what you got? Thank you. Yeah.
Starting with like 8.4.
Sevens is going to get out of the way here. Bridge Mike relieved to not see the 7 on the flop. Doesn't have to kick himself for making the disciplined laydown. And now top pair for Daniel.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. I mean, there's
I only remember one big pot that I
Bet about
didn't like,
half
that
pot
was
here.
also-
Seems pretty fine. Lots of hands with gut shots and backdoor flush draws are going to be possible here. Some 6-7, Jack 10, 9-10 kind of hands that are willing to call bets. So you don't have to go super small like you would on a board like Queen 7 Deuce.
No. I gotta show the kids how it's done, Jada. I get stuck thinking every day and then
6-7 comes in.
break even, but like, you know.
Not super significant. A lot of the 6-7 would have found a raise on the flop. So Ace Queen's still feeling pretty strong here. Mainly worried about sets. Some backdoor heart draws you have to be aware of that could come in on the river. But still definitely betting for value. Almost all of the time. Gonna go quite big here. Something like 60% a pot, something like that, 60, 65. Danny trying to figure out if his 10s is good here often enough. The 10s specifically block some of those hands that may barrel like Jack 10 or 10-9.
No, I should ask.
You feel like you might be good some of the time, but hard to imagine that he's just barreling with ace king or something every single time, 2 streets.
Hey, Dunn, when you need a card, you can talk to AJ here.
Okay.
He told me his AC
Definitely
went
some
out.
tough spots so far.
It's too hot.
Seen several hands where
Yesterday, he looked like he was dead.
both players are trying to figure out
We do that too.
That's
exactly what's going on. Just very, very tricky spots and a lot of money behind.
That's a.
You gotta figure it out. No, that's
Visual game, sir.
Never
Well,
easy
that's
at
a-
these
Very
stakes.
smart for asking.
Take notes.
If he was very smart, he would
Nines for
figure it out.
Seinfeld and a 3-bet
I'm saying.
from Colin from the small blind. Gonna play most of his range this way.
Power,
A couple
power.
clues to allude to what it was.
I couldn't tell who it came from. I couldn't tell if it was 2 or 3.
AJ's gonna cold call from the big blind, it looks like. 5-6
I'll
suited.
go into the tank next time. I'll go into the tank next time I think about it instead of
You'll get there
asking.
one.
My bad, guys.
Good flop here for
The best part
Seinfeld.
about the series is when you know, like, they've got the 3, like, you know they're going to 3-bet like 30
AJ's
seconds
gonna be
before they
in a
do
really
it,
tough spot
but they
here
do
between
their-
two players.
They're 3-bet pose. And
Yeah.
they're,
Not exactly
they're
the flop
3-bet
you were
tank,
hoping for,
and
but
then
you
they
did
do
flop-
it. So like, okay,
flop a
we
pair.
know this is a 3-bet.
Just gonna let it
let's do
go. Doesn't want to be put in too many tough spots.
Yeah, I know.
My favorite part of the series, I do that. I'm told.
When it's pre-flop, it's never a fold. It's always a 3-bet.
Colin picks up a backdoor flush draw here.
A little bit of a tank fold.
He's probably going to put Seinfeld on a bit of overcards, especially with spades.
Just gonna keep throwing them.
Probably
off
going to
my
barrel
spam
here,
3-bets.
picking up the extra equity. So he's going to go big, 1200. I like the bet. Really trying to put some pressure on those middle strength hands. Seinfeld in a tricky spot. He likes that he's got the gut shot that he can still improve on. But this bet a lot of the time is just going to be over pairs. And so he's just going to have 6 outs, give or take.
I almost raised it. I was worried about him.
Does that work every time? Nothing I missed out on?
It can be hard to find those barrels on the paired boards. So sometimes they're under bluff spots, and
He's a good kid.
you have to
He's
make some
always
disciplined,
Double, yeah.
tight laydowns.
Literally. Pat said. Pat said.
I think when they ask, you're no longer rubbing the
Seinfeld not liking his fold, really. You can see him contemplating there a little bit.
Anyone else?
Yeah, this place really doing the business nowadays.
AJ just going to complete with the 9s out of the small blind. Flop a very disguised set here. Most of the time, pocket 9s is going to find an open. Let's go for a small lead.
Are there 2-2-5 games here?
JD with the open ender and overcards.
No, there's one.
Going to take a
Is
turn.
it 9 or is it 4?
I think it's 9, yeah.
Oh, excuse me. JD raised it up, made it 100.
It's a cap.
Is that Mark's game?
That's a private game. Yeah, it's Mark's game.
Where's Mark?
9s full of 10s for AJ. JD now drawing dead.
No.
No, I said, where's Mark?
I can tell you
I
that.
do know.
AJ's not going to have too many full houses here, though. Most hands like 9-10 suited, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, you're going to find opens. Most of his full houses are going to be hands like pocket 3s that just complete and opt not to open.
Bless you.
Fortunately for JD, he doesn't hit his open ender. He would have had to pay a lot since there's so few boats.
There's like.
Yeah, definitely a true Laser Cat. Sometimes the initiative is all you need, and you can take down some very nice pots. That's why position is so important. It's a big mistake a lot of us make in the lower stakes. We forget to calculate where you're going to be at once you take an action. If you're going to be, which players you're going to be in position on, which players you're going to be out of position to, what the stack depths are with the people you have position on. A lot of factors that are a little bit secondary down your thought process that sometimes you neglect.
No free phone. Good bluff. What do you use? 7-8? 7 deuce? 7 deuce? Good bluff. Good bluff.
Pocket nines.
Huh?
I had pocket nines.
I'll let you after that.
I bet you $1,000 I had pocket nines.
6-3 and 7-3 here. Blind versus straddle.
Really?
Open ender for Seinfeld. Bottom pair for Danny.
Okay.
No, man, no.
Okay. Just $100.
Scary turn here. Both players. Seinfeld with the only heart, but
Gotta try to make money
more of an
somewhere.
emergency out. Certainly not relying on a heart as an out.
Queen high. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put some pressure on.
No. Let me get there.
Get the fold from the better hand.
I don't want you to make forward to the heart.
I feel like I still have that terrified face.
The turn is like, do I want to run or not? Do I run or not? Yeah, let's see what we get there.
Seinfeld and Danny both up about 5K.
Doesn't matter.
Need a king on the river. You want me to get there? I got you to fold. I got you to fold.
No, we never fold. All stacks. I don't care.
I got the skill, buddy. I can get you to fold the boats now. Seen it.
Back over 100 viewers
I
again.
got the skills now.
Recovering quite nicely. Appreciate you guys all coming out. Looks like Queen 9 suited versus Ace 7. Ace 7 completing from the straddle. Gonna outflop Queen 9 here.
Preference right now?
Not really. Now, it's honestly,
Daniel's gonna
high volume.
go ahead and c-bet here. C-bet small. Trying to just take it down, get some folds from some of those random straddle hands that didn't quite connect.
You're turning a series tomorrow, right? So they're probably not going to have cash.
Harris with 2 pair here is probably gonna have to go for a lead and extract some value.
And new carpet for it. See?
Yeah, but it's not here. It's over. Oh, the tournament's here?
I don't know.
I'd imagine it's at the other place.
Danny, how about the
Go
tournament
for a
player
small
finds
over bet here.
Maybe it will.
All the tournaments
I
can
really supposed to work. What?
Almost 2x over bet actually.
Here. Oh, nice. So I can go. Get some cash.
Trying to make it look like a missed flush draw. Maybe get some action from some second pair holdings.
Actually, really smart business model. Eliminating everything over there.
Honestly, I'm surprised there's so
One
many
that,
people.
guys. Tournament this weekend.
Thank you, dealer.
I'm doing my best. You know? Someone's got to look out for Gina.
What's going on?
Just sit there and look pretty.
Thank you. I try.
Ace deuce suited for Bridge Mike. King 8 suited for JD. Both players not flopping very much. JD's got the open ender now. Gonna see if he can just take it down.
I think you did we? Small, big, and bigger.
Is OFC out of town, or anybody know where he's? I haven't seen him in a while.
He's been playing a lot of it.
He's been playing a lot of cash at LC.
Oh, yeah.
So just taking a break from the bigger stuff. Oh, okay.
This game last week was 1-3. You talking about the Tuesday
No,
stream?
they were both 5-10 last week.
Take him and Sabine for me.
Yeah, that's like 3 of us were here. Yeah.
Was the week before?
Yep.
Okay.
Harris with ace jack of clubs. Beautiful hand to find here in the small blind. It's gonna raise it up. Get some action from Rich Mike.
Carlos just had surgery, so now he'll be able to see more.
3-1 favorite here.
He had the second one, yeah, so he's going to be done. I think it's something more intense than that, but I'm not familiar with how that stuff works. Yeah,
Gonna go ahead and c-bet a little less than 1/3 here.
he was blind.
Gonna do that with a lot of his range, not all of it. And Rich Mike's gonna float with ace high. Harris has to be a little bit worried here, but he's the opener. He's the c-better. He's got the initiative here, so he's just gonna push in as much fold equity as he can get in, take it down.
You can push today, Jimmy?
Is it halfway or should we put?
Almost. I don't know.
What'd you say?
So you're gonna get pushed today? Are you?
I am not getting pushed today on my own.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm getting pushed in like, I don't know what time. In like 5 minutes.
We went to
AJ with the highest VPIP so far. Daniel with the lowest.
Danix the
But I
best.
can't.
21 to 33%. Fairly reasonable VPIP
I think we should
percentages
just
for
keep the
all
game on
players.
all night.
What?
Very
I think
typical.
we should just keep the Nick game on all night.
30 is usually slightly loose and 20 is slightly
Lineup,
tight.
we need
No
it.
one's too far outside of what's standard.
Well, the table is, so y'all just have to do stuff.
We are only 62 hands in, so we'll see how that sample looks at the end of the night. Be a little bit more accurate the more hands we get put in.
Thank you.
Can't believe we have a hockey draft instead of the Ranger game on. Is that possible?
Don, did Jeremiah take a break during the summer?
Is it possible to get the
Sorry?
Ranger
Did
game
Jeremiah
up here?
take a break over the summer for
We
the
could
series?
possibly get the Ranger
he's
game
playing
on
less,
TV
but he didn't take a
instead of
break.
I can get a floor over
Hockey
there.
draft.
Different schedule.
Yeah.
King 5 suited for Harris. He's going to open it up in the cutoff. Probably the bottom of his opening range, but seems fine.
I think he's playing a lot of live cash, actually.
Yeah, I saw over here.
These suited
I think he's
kings
playing the stream tonight.
play fairly well in position.
Eric.
Brian and Eric and those guys.
And kings for AJ is certainly putting in a 3-bet here.
Yeah.
600 bucks.
Same as the one right
Derek,
there.
stay open, bud.
Can you get the Ranger game up here? Yeah, it'd be great.
Just going to take it down with no resistance.
Here.
Easy 355.
Just the one I can see.
If Derek's here, who's commentating?
You guys are getting Derek to dress up here.
He looks good.
No, Derek's been forward for a while.
You got
He's clean shaved up.
Yeah.
Looking
Miss him in the
professional.
booth.
His hair looked dope when he had it permed just like a couple months ago. I was like, 75?
Danny with the queens. Looking to pump up the pot a little bit. 3 times the blind. Gonna get a 3-bet here from Colin. 10-9 suited in the small blind. See if Danny opts for a 4-bet here. A little over 3.7K behind. If he makes it like 1K, it's going to be about SPR1 on the flop, a little bit more.
Did you hear that? The guy standing behind the table, as I talking to him, he's like, I'm just kind of curious to see what the betting strategy is. The guy seen that looks and goes, there's no strategy. Yeah, well,
75.
You guys are very entertaining.
Someone get him a seat.
Daniel gonna raise up to 5-6 suited. Put in a 3-bet over
The guy in seat
Seinfeld's open.
pure comedy all the time.
8, right?
They're both.
Eight, nine.
But seat 9 is like.
AJ with the cold call from the small blind, King Jack offsuit. Looking to play some pots here. We can go 3 ways to the flop.
Check a bet.
No players really loving this here. Daniel somehow flops the best of it with bottom pair. And AJ is just going to turn the nutter butters. It'll be tough to get value from much, though. Seinfeld's got the open ender, but with the hearts and spades on board, he doesn't really know which outs are clean. As we can see, AJ's already got it. Maybe drawing to a chop. If it's a heart or a spade, he could be put in some really tough spots.
The hands that has
Just gonna let it go. AJ's gonna take it down.
Alright, buttons right.
Always nice to just make the hand straight away.
Pleasure, guys.
Simplifies the hand enormously.
Always a pleasure.
Tab still 2,500.
J Nick's out of here. New dealers coming in.
So this tab's still 2,500.
They may opt to do a flip. Yeah, looks like a $100 flip.
Huh?
$200 flip.
You have to say your bets.
1-1.
Flip.
you're turbo. No way. $5 from $1.
Flip and then Nick game again? Flip and then Nick game again.
What?
Flip and then we're starting the Nick game again.
And looks like we have
Flip.
No big deal. Just
Cat
over
in the
700.
box.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, you can afford it, it's fine. You seen us play? It's okay. Yeah.
Get it all day.
Get these decks switched out and get this flip underway.
You're allowed to do that. It's okay.
Noted. 50 more, man.
No, I pulled it for the back.
How are you?
What?
We pull 50 out of
Now
flips
you're
for the
smiling better.
commentators and producers and stuff.
I am a good guy.
Got him. Non-negotiable. No consent needed.
The Rangers channel for Star TV.
Okay,
What's up, Derek? How are you, man?
watch the 3rd round of the NHL draft.
Exactly what you wanted.
You guys get any porn?
Yeah.
I've noticed.
No, this was mine, 100%.
No. I've noticed.
I really need to understand.
The third round. Perfect. The third round. Nothing more exciting than the third
You guys
round.
want to go to 200?
Matthew Wood, I know this guy.
Just a reminder, we do have this Independence Day tournament coming up this
You guys want
weekend.
to go to 200 this one? Actually?
$250
Yeah?
per entry. Got 8
Like 200,
flights that we're
200,
running at
200.
10 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Seinfeld's
Thursday
feeling
through
it.
Sunday. Day 2 on Monday. Tournament's your thing. We got a good one going on this weekend. 200,000 guaranteed for a $250 entry.
That's how you know JD stuck.
I am stuck.
200 for the flip? 200 for the flip.
$200 PLO flip all around.
First card, boys. First card.
1,600 in profit. 1,400 in profit, I believe, for whoever wins.
Imagine that was Ace of Spades though. That would have been sick. That would have been sick.
Nice, you guys got
Why do you have a 7, JD?
Kings. 3 kings.
I'm doling my hand. I like you guys inside. I like your sides.
M7. Oh my God.
7?
Another 7.
973 JD with pocket
Another
7s.
7. I don't care.
I said
That's another 7. It's a misdeal.
8, 10.
I had the
Deuce.
turbo straight draw.
Deuce.
Jack.
Diamond.
Wait,
Fuck.
Also, I'm sure someone has it straight here. Colin has queen 10, and Daniel has queen 10.
Top that. Wait, do you win the $5? I guess you do win the $5. We did straight.
The chop for them,
You win the $5.
$600 in profit.
We definitely won,
Let's
right?
just do 100.
So you're
That's
feeling
so
good
dumb
about it.
because I deserve to lose,
I
honestly.
got second though, right?
How do we double and you kids just chop it out? What
Yeah, the
the
box.
fuck is this?
Actually, I deserve to lose like that because for a second I was like, I could just like offer my hand against his hand. And I was like, nah, I'll take the edge on the $5 bet, so I deserve to lose. It's all good.
You guys show. What are your other 2 cards done?
7-4?
7-4.
Added 3 more.
Fucking sucked out.
Can
What
I
a
have 5
turn.
more?
What
No,
a
no, what is the
turn.
max? Can you ask
So
him?
you won almost the
Ask him
same
what the
as if it was $100 put.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it back from AJ, right?
Can you pass out the nip buttons?
11.
Go JD 200? Let's go JD.
That's what you're going to be saying when I say 400 at the end. That's exactly what you're going to
Looks like we're starting back up the Nick game.
I turned top set.
Generate a little bit more action.
The fucking board fair.
I didn't see the set till it was
What's
already
funny?
The last person to give up their button,
Like, they were
paying
like,
out a
no more fairs.
$100 bounty to each other player at the table.
Yeah, he two
It'll cost them about $700.
You guys turn the straight? Or no, river the straight?
Definitely adds some incentive to make sure you can show down your hand, get rid of that button, so you don't have to pay the bounty.
He was good until he
Well, I flop set, he turned set.
That is very accurate.
I flopped the best hand.
You need the bomb.
Next flip, we just put a flop out only. No turn to river. So next, Nick game's on. Next flip, we're going to do the flop only. No turns to river. Just flop.
Bridge Mike, Jack 9 suited, and low Jack. Gonna get some action from Seinfeld. Gonna 3-bet it up. Reasonable hand here to put in a 3-bet bluff with. A flop top pair. You don't want to bet all your top pairs here to protect your checking range, but certainly fine to be c-betting a large
There's
percentage
like
of
not a
your
way that like two
3-bet.
people could join a session just like by
3-bet
themselves.
range here.
They can, but like there's no like collision and stuff.
Especially when you get rid of that nip
That's
button.
fine though.
You're kind of just like hanging out on the server.
Very
like,
incentivized to
like,
just
like,
win a
you're
pot
like,
straight
you don't
away.
see the other person, like, you're just like trying to see who get the best time. Like,
Yeah, I want to see the other person. Even if there's no
I mean,
collision.
you can see like a ghost of them, but like, you guys are gonna be at the same point in the map. Like,
Daniel and Seinfeld both up 5K still,
you can
calling up
do it.
1K.
Yes, there are ways you can like have a server and then like they can join. You can like race with their ghosts.
Was that collision on or no?
No, they had some plug-in where you can add collision. I think. Usually there's not collision.
So the answer is yes, but in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, I don't even know how to do it, but it is doable.
Yeah.
It is doable.
I feel like that's like one of those games that's like
Ace-7 suited for Colin.
locked in, staying up for like 12 hours. Like.
Maybe it's super easy to get obsessed with that game. You just do the same thing over and over again, but get
Gonna get some action here
I feel like it's not like that. I
from
mean, it can
Harris.
be. If their guys
Pocket
go,
sixes.
The nice part is they release like one every day they like pick a track for like the track of the day, and everybody races on that one track for that. Like you can play whenever, but like people race that track, so like, every day I'll log on and play for like 30 minutes, you know.
see how you
It'll be
do
done.
on that track for the day.
Yeah.
Not the flop Harris
Usually
was
they'll make
looking
it
for
so
here.
sometimes I have like 2 or 3. I'll like catch
He's
up on
hoping
them.
for a little more playability, if not a 6. Colin's gonna take this one down.
Folding my 3-bet.
Give her an extra nip button.
Diamonds?
I did not see it.
Diamonds, yeah, diamonds.
I had a 3-bet candidate.
He had all red cards. A lot of red
He
cards.
wasn't folding to an all-in then.
I mean, maybe he would.
Well, he isn't it.
But clearly he's not in it.
It's toxic over here. I don't know.
You have the patch.
He's provably not in
You know,
it.
like people like wear the patch in the WSOP. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
the
I
nip
should have
button.
worn this.
Hello.
JD's gonna get a little frisky here. 3-bet from the cutoff with the Queen-6 suited.
Call 250.
And AJ's gonna call with the King-10 offsuit.
Try to call 500.
First straddle, please. Do you want a water?
Pair for both players.
You want a water?
Sure.
Room's in?
King of clubs, quite a key card here for AJ.
Colder the better.
But JD's gonna c-bet. Feeling pretty good with his second pair. Gonna get a flat. Worst card imaginable for JD here. Makes it much less likely AJ has a king. Gonna be very difficult to get away from this now. He's still beat by other Queen X hands though, so not like he's gonna lose a ton of money. But he's definitely gonna have to pay off a river bet here.
Yeah, he lives in his mom's basement. Once he gets his allowance,
Yep,
he's allowed
snap
to go.
call here on the river, and he's gonna find out the bad news. Not really much choice when the clubs and the straight draws miss, and you have second pair.
On the king?
Just kind of have to pay him. He's gonna find some airball bluffs as well. AJ's not one of those players who's afraid to get creative.
I had it though.
This summer, it's kind of hard to fill these games.
Queen eye.
Did I get you? I don't think you did. Answer's always no. When we actually asked, we really don't remember. Right? It's not worth testing.
AJ with
You know,
36% VPIP now. It's
honestly,
getting kind of high here.
Like, the answer is always no.
He's trying to mix it up, trying to battle,
But
get unstuck
then
a little bit.
again, on stream, we can look back and be like, yeah.
Just has to make sure he doesn't get too out of line.
This is the 10. This is the 25.
Maybe even billions.
Danny's gonna get some action here. Queen 10 versus Jack 9. Excuse me. Jack 9 folded. Call with ace 7. Danny's gonna go ahead and c-bet. C-bet rather large. Have to be careful about over c-betting these sort of board textures against the big blind or the straddle. They're going to connect much more often. That's why he uses a larger sizing. He's saying basically, I'm not c-betting this with my whole range. I'm betting it with a much smaller portion, and it's going to be a little bit more polarized. So he's going to low frequency bet hands like the one he had, and then bet large with some of his stronger
You want me
hands.
to take the net for 600?
He's gonna pay me. He wants it. He wants it. That's the only way he can get active.
I'll
Call him with the highest aggression frequency so far.
give me 600. I'll take
Danny
the
with the
net, no
lowest,
problem.
66 versus 31.
I mean, shit, that's like a no-brainer.
Aggression frequency is the actions that are not a check.
I mean,
Harris is going to find it open here with pocket sevens. Looks like a $50 straddle this hand, I believe.
Yeah.
He's saying it's 800.
No, we're doing
$50 straddle from AJ.
Yeah, I like that.
And he's definitely going to get some action here. Jack 10 and pocket threes. Three-way flop.
I thought the flip was representative.
Yeah, exactly.
Harris is going to flop middle set. Bridge Mike has a gut shot with the 10 of clubs. No flush draws for any of the players, but the flush draw on the board is definitely relevant here. Harris is happy that he has the 7 of clubs, for sure. It's going to make it much harder for the flush to get there. A lot less scare cards can come. I guess I misspoke there, though. If he didn't have the 7 of clubs, the next 7 comes would give him quads. It more blocks his opponent's continuing range on the board. Be more relevant.
Here, you know? It used to be.
I know.
Yeah. The other place is just loud because of the construction of the building.
Rich Mike going for the bluff here. He's going to try and push his equity with his gut shot. Not going to work, though. Harris has got the middle set.
Yeah.
See if he goes for a raise here or just lets Bridge Mike bluff. Looks like a juicy raise here, about 1,500 bucks. 16.
flush draw.
Or just do like Doesn't count. Or just do. That doesn't count either. That doesn't count either.
I actually like that.
Yeah, that would be.
Plus.
Yes.
It is an interesting idea. Okay, that's an interesting idea.
Just gotta call. Call before you get in there and take it down.
$50 straddles on again this hand. Looks like 3 players left with their nip button. Bridge, Mike, Daniel, and JD. JD's, if he wasn't going to put on the $50 straddle before, he's doing it now just to increase the chance that he can play a hand and try and get rid of that nip button.
Have you played at the new place at all? Last Planos?
No, actually.
It's pretty much the 5, 10, 25 goes every day. Yeah, but it's you have to like be there early to get into it, or like kind of. So the game usually starts between like 12 and 2. So you want to be on the list like a little before 12. I think.
Both players top a pair here. Nobody's near the top of their range. Interesting to see how they play it out.
But because they don't allow the double straddle,
There's going to be a chop here.
more people are willing to take a
There are
shot
eights
at
with
it.
ace, king, queen.
More T5 players.
Nice hand.
Yeah, the max straddle is 25.
Somebody must have accidentally mucked.
Yeah, so it's
just
like,
scanned that.
and we all usually agree to it, so it's 5, 10 quarter pretty much the whole time. Unfortunately. Yeah.
5, 10, you gotta like stronger people in the quarter
I
sometimes.
haven't had any issues with it. I've never played it.
We chopped that out. I haven't looked back.
What is? So yeah.
Ace King Queen 8-8.
Is it hot coffee that they pour over ice? Because that's not good. It's actual iced coffee. Yeah. Well, there's also Starbucks there.
They always tell me the coffee is not as good over there as it is over
That's
here.
what I heard too.
I don't want to know.
Yeah. It's definitely non-zero. It's really interesting.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, for like an everyday open game, it's a good game. Well, I mean, it's the usual suspects plus other people though, like that wouldn't normally play it big. So.
Because it runs for like 12 hours pretty much a day, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't played it in like.
Glad to see you're enjoying the stream,
It was
Frank.
really good when I was playing it.
Appreciate the support. AJ's going to go ahead and make a boat here straight away.
I'll always have that with me.
It's going to be tough to get action from anybody, though. He's got to let somebody decide to take a stab at it.
Yeah.
JD does have the gut shot
We'll hold that
and the
open
nip
for
button that he
as long
needs to
as I
get rid
can.
of, so he's going to take a stab here. Bet a little bit more than the pot. What's going on, LV Coleman? Welcome to the stream.
Actually, didn't see
Appreciate you coming in.
I appreciate it, man. I really do. Thank you.
Feel bad.
Do you have more fun playing
I had
live
7-8.
online, or
So I thought you
I never saw your hand.
easy to get
I appreciate it.
type 3 then, or you just prefer
Gotta
to
sleep at night.
yeah.
He's going to go ahead and check the river.
Alright, no, that's fair enough.
When your opponents are capable of bluffing, the river check is a lot more tantalizing to go for the check raise. If you go ahead and lead out, they're just going to be able to fold the hands exactly like what JD
and
has.
slow, obviously, especially for you.
But this way he gets to lure out an extra 1,100 bucks.
Show it.
Nice.
Oh, you don't have to.
Very good news. Very good news. My man, my man. My man.
Yeah, guys, if you do enjoy the
Hopefully
stream,
JD's
we
about to-
appreciate if you'd subscribe, hit that like button. It helps us out tremendously here.
I didn't realize how big of a niche JD was.
Tune into all of our streams if you're enjoying them. Give us any feedback, constructive, if you would please. It's unfortunate today that we had the internet issue and lost a few minutes out of the stream. But those things happen
I'm not playing as
sometimes.
much these
Just got to
days,
work
but
around them the best we can.
I've been playing over at Las Colinas. Otherwise, like, if I'm
$50 straddle this hand.
like ACR on Sundays.
Seinfeld's trying to juice it up a little bit,
Before that,
get
just,
those
like,
stakes a little bit higher.
Or private clubs or whatever.
Have you done any new plans?
150.
Not like the really big majors, but like the.
Daniel's really trying to get rid of his nit button here. He's gonna
Yeah.
get a little frisky with the
Biggest catch is maybe like
7.5 offsuit. Take it down. Save himself $700.
I was like,
JD has to pay it out.
I'm gonna have this one bronze.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Jack
Those
throw.
ones are also like really long and the like late red just forever.
Last night, huh?
I haven't had any.
Looks like JD's gonna add on a little bit.
Maybe like 2 dozen.
I'd rather wait
I don't
one
play
round,
this guy.
play one round of poker and we'll do it again.
Gonna wait around?
Yeah, one round. Is that okay?
So when the button gets back saying,
Yeah.
Do it while he's done.
All the big ones go down. But I mean, I've seen
It won't
there's been like
affect
$1 million for
I'm adding
price.
5
I'm probably, I am, no, I don't, I think, I'm pretty sure I'm down. I don't
Sort of
know.
like to play a little bit of poker.
I don't count.
Definitely like a bit of a tougher field compared to other stuff, but it's also good price.
9-8 suited for AJ. He's gonna definitely pop that one up on the button. Very playable hand. And JD is gonna put in the 3-bet, ace queen offsuit from the small.
Were you playing online during like when the Chinese apps were still really good and available?
I haven't played any games.
Yeah.
Top pair for JD, second pair for AJ. Backdoor flush draw for AJ, just to add a little bit extra equity.
Yeah, I don't like to.
He's gonna have to continue here, facing a 1/3 sizing.
I was playing in yen. Yeah.
It's like $1 million pot every
Well, they had the site that I played on. They closed off to Americans like 65 years ago, but it was an interesting. They had no rake, and then only if you win, when you cash out, they take like 5% of your winnings. So it ended up being a lot less overall. I don't remember the exact number, but it was something along those lines.
JD's gonna go a little bit larger here,
And it was
700
like
into 1,000.
And the players
Trying to charge those, charge the
couldn't
max
really
from
do
those
that,
weaker
you
aces,
know.
and get a little bit of extra fold equity against some of the flush draws.
Who lost the mid game?
I lost.
Oh. You guys want to play again?
Too busy talking about online poker. You pin for me. Zero help.
I had them dominated for 5-7.
Viewers are captivated by the online poker talk.
Appreciate you, Austin.
Basically, once I started
Thanks for
learning
joining
how
us.
to code, I stopped playing online poker pretty much because like that took up my learning
A
how
little
to
bit
code,
slow here in the
that
booth
kinda took up
tonight.
my would-be online poker time.
You know how to code?
Yesterday we had Eric in here also. It was really fun. Had a great stream.
ChatGPT turned me from a shitty coder.
A little bit easier to keep the energy and the conversation, you know, flowing when you got two guys in here, and you know, two people to talk about the strategy back and forth a little bit. As it stands now, you guys are getting my sort of random, unfiltered bias.
You have an app idea, run it by Dan.
that's what every programmer wants, right?
Three pretty solid hands here. Daniel with the initial open, Queen Jack offsuit and low jack,
Yeah.
fairly standard. And Danny with the 3-bet. Now Harris looking down Ace King in the straddle.
Doesn't work, and you do make it better.
And he's not really looking to cold call. He's mostly going to be 4-betting here.
Or you can just make a reverse version of it. In a country where you can ban the good version of it. Then, like, it's
China does
2.6 times the last bet.
easy.
What is it? Alibaba is at one point was as far as I'm concerned, not trading.
Danny's a little A little over 150 big blinds deep here, maybe,
My shirt.
with the jacks.
The gap.
Trying to decide if he's deep enough for him to flat, or if maybe he should make a tight fold, I think. I don't think he's considering 5-betting. I think it's pretty much a mandatory call here. If you are folding, it's a pretty big exploit. Basically saying your opponent never has any 4-bets here. No 4-bet plus. Welcome to the chat, Circle Player. Appreciate you tuning in. Gut shot for Harris, backdoor king high flush draw. Gonna start barreling, trying to get build up that fold equity from some of the more middling pairs in Danny's range, so he can put him in tough spots on turns and rivers.
I mean, it makes sense. They charge by the hour. You get a.
Of course, Danny pretty much has to continue. 300 to win about 2,000, a little over 6 to 1. Only has to be good about 14% of the time or have 14% equity. Danny here, not a good turn card at all. Immediately brings in a wheel for all ace hands, and just about all the 4-bet bluffs have an ace in them. Sometimes you'll see some hands like King 10 suited used for some 4-bet bluffs. But
That makes sense.
if he was bluffing, he got here most of the time. So Danny's not loving this spot at all. Harris could go for some checks here because it's so hard to continue when Danny's range here is a lot of like 9s, 10s, jacks, maybe queens, and those just likely aren't calling a bet. So you could check to set the trap sometimes, but this small bet works fairly well, fairly nicely. Also, you could maybe make some kind of bet like this with kings, trying to get value from jacks. Danny's going to make the discipline lay down. Fight another day.
Oh, Danny.
Jacks is one of those hands you love to see him. You just sometimes have to play some tricky spots. And that's just the way it goes. Calling with the 5s here. Very standard open.
Has it been an orbit already? We missed it?
Gonna get a flat on the button from Danny.
It's been 2 hands.
2 hands?
I think it has been.
6s completes from the small blind.
Never gonna get
Harris
it.
does here. You could definitely put in some squeezes with King 9 suited
There are other.
at a small frequency.
Other days.
It's gonna complete though.
It doesn't have to be today.
Today. I'm stuck twice.
4
now.
ways to the flop.
We gotta play 12 more times, guys.
It's a bit atypical for these stakes to go 4 ways,
It's
but
been in the Nick game.
every once in a while I have a flop like this.
Yeah. Let's see, I lost
No one
7,
flops much of anything here.
Lost another 7. Yeah, no, 12. We gotta play 12 more times.
What happened to eBay Dave? I haven't seen him. Has he been around at all?
I don't see it in a while. I mean, I
It's
saw
really
him
tough to
play
bluff into multiple opponents here.
2-5.
Position is going to play a
2-5 last week.
pretty key role.
Ran out of money.
See who decides to bet here. Harris may decide to go for some thin value. Put out a bet. Yep. 75 into 325. About a quarter pot.
I'm gonna go snap register you. I'll get up.
You gonna bet me in?
Yeah.
Stake me?
Seinfeld's considering it. He's gonna beat some king queen, king jack type hands here often enough. Only has to be good there a little less than 15% of the time to break even. So if he thinks that Harris is stabbing there with some high cards, trying to just take it down when it checks through all the way, 6 is going to do well enough against that range. And Colin wakes up with ace-king suited. Looking to mix it up here.
So you would split it? Oh.
Harris just lets go of his ace-7 suited in the small blind.
The blackjack hand.
He knows that Colin's range opening from early position is pretty strong. He doesn't want to have to play too many pots out of position.
I'll use the restroom before we start the net game.
Top pair versus an under pair. Daniel's going to float one. He knows that Colin's going to c-bet these king-high boards at a very high frequency. So pretty much feels like he has to call one street, see what happens on the turn.
But this guy had fours. I had fours, so I was like, I have to try to like smoke the turn. It's really high level play. The match before on the turn.
AJ, the big stack. He's stuck a little bit. He's trying to make sure he can play as deep as possible. It only takes one hand for him if he covers everybody, and he can be right back in there.
Probably gonna get a walk.
Yeah. Would be weird.
Oh my god.
Nope. No.
Okay.
Well,
King Jack versus King 4. Heads up pot here, blind v blind.
Rebase.
Ranges definitely get wider in these blind versus blind type spots. Heads up play. A lot of us don't get much experience in these spots because we always chop our blinds. Suddenly, whenever you don't have a choice in a tournament or in one of these higher stakes games where everybody always plays, you're floundering a little bit, trying to figure out how you play a spot because you're not used to it. It's one reason why I like to play my blinds as long as people don't get too offended in a time game. Pot rake games, of course, is just too costly to let the house rake whenever you're only playing against one person. But in a time game, I think it's some good experience you can gain to play out your blinds, battle a little bit, get comfortable, mano y mano, as they say. One day you might find yourself on a tournament final table playing heads up for a 8K pay jump, and you never played heads up before. You're just going to have to run it, get lucky, and that's not really what we look for in poker. We look to find edges and utilize them.
Maybe the English traveling is on here.
Do something about it.
I can't.
Do something about it. See what he had. He's all in.
I call.
I call it.
Oh, whoa. Blind raiser with the 9-4.
Go quick, let's go quick.
He just stole your blind with 9-4.
Gotcha.
You had a nice hand.
No worries. No worries.
You would have folded
you
for
should
sure.
have
You would've
forgot to turn
folded.
this
You give me
off.
a walk.
I'm
So-
worried for us.
You give me a walk for sure.
People heard me pee. Just FYI, I thought I turned it off.
AJ still with the highest VPIP, 35%. Danny with 31%.
I'll put it in my pocket, so it's muffled.
Oh.
Can't wait to rewatch the stream later.
My wife is like, fuck it.
I thought you told me. My bad.
Pocket eights for Harris. Always nice to see the snowman. Very solid hand. You don't necessarily need to make a set to win some pots. You can navigate post flop, you'll do just fine.
Me too.
Not in a row, but like you're nice.
Gonna be up against ace 9 suited here though. Not the red cards Colin was looking for. Harris doesn't mind. He's got his overpair and he's got a diamond, some backup. If he is behind, 8 of diamonds will be good often enough to continue.
There's the smart one. We just had to get a shot.
Very, very small bet here from Colin.
I hope you get paid at least.
Well under,
Not enough.
Not enough.
it's like 8% pot or something, maybe less.
Direct code though.
Expect to see a small bet here from Harris. Maybe something like $150, $200.
What do you do for work, Brandon? It's like a sports analytics company.
200, just takes it down, does the job just fine.
We're a recruiting platform for college athletics.
I bet 1% off so far.
Pretty fun.
Put $5 in there.
Yeah. Math's hard.
Colin with the highest RFI. That's raised first in.
One hand. From bench. No, I don't care about the game. Yeah, let's just stack AJ. It's been like, it's been a long time.
Harris gonna let the pocket twos go.
Like never. Oh,
The one time you jammed on my kings, the one
It
time.
was my first hand.
Yeah, I know.
I was trying to make a point.
Generally,
Point made.
minimum open Harris position is gonna be something like pocket 5s or 6s. If you're gonna go by the charts. A lot of us tend to play any pocket pair from any position.
Professional folder.
You end up in
Let's go.
some set over set situations that way. Got a lot of reverse implied odds when you make your sets sometimes, so it can be dangerous to get in there with the pairs too small in really early
You
position.
want the button? Is that why?
And you're going to get 3-bet and 4-bet pots a lot where you're not going to be able to continue. It's good to just let pocket 2s, pocket 3s, pocket 4s go when you're under the gun 1.
Shady mother.
If you're in a real soft game and people aren't being aggressive, you can go ahead and play them. You know, if you're a bit shallower, like 150, 200 big blinds
When you're
deep.
stuck the most of the table, you get exceptions.
Once you get to like 500 big blinds deep, that set can really, really cost you when it's a set over set.
Oh, well, I'll tell you. We should have told you yesterday.
I was.
I don't know if you were stuck the most yesterday.
I don't think I was.
Well, you were up at the end. But
I was
like,
up at the end.
at the start when they kept sucking down on you.
It happens. It's poker, you know. I don't know if I'm to like give you a
5s for
pulse
Harris.
How like you can lose in poker.
He's going to open up. This is similar to what I just said. This is probably the worst pocket pair he opens up here. He probably just gives up 2s, 3s, and 4s.
That'd be helpful.
I like it only up. Like only up or something. Like combining it.
Oh, that looks fun.
That looks so tilted.
Just fall.
And the music starts playing as they're falling. It's like,
There's like a trap like 75% up.
My
Like
method is just like punt all day. They have one hand where you're giving like quadruple
It's the
shot.
worst game mechanic, but that's so funny.
You only need one hand, JD. That's right. One hand.
One hand and a quadruple shadow.
Ace Jack's going to flop an overcard and a gut shot for
I
Broadway.
don't know how you do it, actually.
Ace 9 needs a lot of help.
I've seen you do this 4 or 5 times, maybe.
Not the worst card in the deck here on the turn for Harris.
Last hand.
He's actually gonna be good here somewhat often. Tons of draw hands that are gonna be betting here, like King Jack and Jack 9, Ace Jack, Ace King. All hands that are gonna turn stab.
Catch it on.
There's only a single raise pot here, so some of
Talk
those
him into it. And comes
Ace
back to
King
me,
type
I'll do
hands,
I'll do the up to full.
not really in there. They're gonna be 3-betting the pocket 5s open.
I can do the 8.
Instantly he starts talking. I probably would.
You can talk them into it, though.
Yeah,
It's gonna be.
Harris gonna raise it up. He's gonna push that
Point fingers at me.
protection there. Gets some very, very thin value and gets some protection sometimes. Sometimes even buy himself a free river.
trying to figure out how to get the quadruple
Could save him
shadow
some
on.
money if he feels like he needs a check call on some certain runouts. May just go check
Jay,
instead.
He's 400. He's gonna be the 400. So you gotta be the 200, 100,
Okay.
50.
We can do this.
I feel like how you're getting a good end of this.
And he's
Harris raises it up. Danny calls.
he's gonna be the 800.
What do you mean? No.
Wait.
Quadruple shadow.
Yeah.
Quadruple
Danny
shadow.
makes Broadway
Listen to the
here.
rules. I said, but
Feeling pretty good about his hand. He has the ace of hearts.
But really,
Blocks most of the flush draws that would continue. He's made his hand
He's like,
now.
no, they never do. We're like, yeah, we'll do it.
He's just hoping that
I said,
Harris has
I'll
a
do
queen.
400 if you do 800 is what I said. And you said, okay.
You said you do up to 400. You shut up to 400. You said. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear any terms.
You hit the stipulations.
I didn't hear any terms.
You just searched 400, that's it. You stop listening.
Yeah. I said quadruple shot. You said 400. I was like, all right, let me do the math. Like 50.
Here's your bun. Shady. Let's go.
Shady.
You guys want to do it right now? 50, 100, 240? I'm not doing 8. I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it?
I'm looking at it. I'm
Blind call
looking.
for it. Blind call for it.
Line call for it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
What? Okay, I'm okay with that.
Wait it now?
Are we doing it? Oh, he's not straddling. He's still straddling.
Seinfeld and Daniel both still up pretty good. 4,500. Harris catching up a little bit, almost up 2K.
I like it.
I'm trying to.
Like it. You get last action.
800.
Regardless. There you go.
Looks like we're straddling all the way around.
I'm trying to get unstuck. I'm trying to get unstuck.
Go.
Straddling all the way up to 800 bucks.
So it's on
You should be
Danny.
studying this now, Danny.
Oh, this is my game.
It's a
right
true
here.
straddle. Let's go.
Don't see this very often.
Oh, fuck. You didn't snap much. Okay.
See if we can get a little bit of action here.
Don't do it, Harry.
Now Harris technically has under a 10 big blinds here.
Not yet.
$800 straddle on the button. He could definitely shove A7 suited.
I don't even have a spot.
If you're in a tournament, that would be a shove.
Oh, right where I want him.
Basically the same thing,
Right where I
even
want
though the cash is
How much you play?
much tougher to actually do it with.
I remember last time we did this.
Yeah,
How much do I
last
have?
time, right?
Yeah, we flipped us. He won both of them. About 20K.
Oh, big pot.
800.
So I got like
AJ here contemplating
12K. So
what to
it's
do
like,
here.
15 bigs? 15 bigs.
a little over 15 big blinds. Probably a shove is the optimal play. You can pick up about 1,200 bucks.
Jack Leafs. Jack Links.
JD has an ace.
Oh, baby.
Definitely a tough spot, especially against a player like AJ who's going to find some shoves.
We got a little, we got a little spot ski.
This is where you're studying your Nash equilibrium comes in handy. Using apps like Snap Shove for your tournaments. You try and figure out how hands actually perform for 10 big blinds, 12 big blinds, 15 big blinds.
16 bigs. 16 bigs. If I had 14 bigs, I have to be in there. Can I ask?
Definitely not liking his 6 here. Trying to get sarcastically get some advice from the tournament guy right next to him. I think AJ is going to be pretty capable of shoving a fairly wide range here. So ace 6 probably is about break even.
King Queen? King Jack?
Would have been about a 55-45.
Good idea. Good idea, JT. Let's do that again.
Let's do it
What would
again.
have happened?
Very close to a flip there.
Damn, he just won the biggest pot of the night. Pre-flop. Single raise pot. Two monsters after.
See, that's better. Now I'm like stuck 8K in a 400, 800 game. So it's like it's like 10 bigs.
The idea is not to
Whatever
get you
whatever
rigs,
psychological
you know?
trick you can run
That's kind of
to
my strategy.
make it feel like you're not stuck.
Basically, you call. That's it.
If it's 400, 800, JD's saying, oh, I'm only stuck like 10 bigs. That's not much.
15 bigs, full. Call, what do you think?
I probably
Oh, shit.
For a flip.
It sounded like Danny said he would call.
Everybody else is like, yeah, I
I
would've
think
called.
it's like the absolute
Jack, of course.
bottom.
I should have sold the hand.
That can
Can I
you
sell
plug
the
in
hand?
Snap
I'll
Shove.
sell the hand next time. You guys want to buy a 12
based on the actual dollar
It might be like
amount, though,
A7 or
Oh,
something like that.
I was like, Danny, no way you would
I'm
have
not a
called
tournament guy. I
on
don't
A6,
know.
really?
If he had King
I
Jack,
knew that. I thought about that.
Yeah, such an easy call.
I can't afford to play 400, 800.
Snap call. Let's go.
Forgot the nip button was on, huh?
Obviously, any ace suited, I'm in. For sure.
It would be a little bit off in the Snap Shove app because it's not just the blind money. All of those other straddles are adding up, so there's a whole extra blind in the middle. So that does widen the range just a little bit. I bet A6 is like theoretically a call. Just depends on what you think AJ is doing there. If he's actually getting out of line.
If it was someone else jamming 13K, I would probably fold.
Carve small, he re-raise, I have to call, and then...
I'm just saying, I think you would have played like aces and stuff different.
Of course.
Which is why I thought,
But
You played aces.
I mean, if he has aces here, that's just unlucky.
To be honest with you, I only
I'm
looked
not
at
really
the
worried about
king.
aces, buddy. I'm worried about like ace 7 off.
One
Here.
example. One of many hands that we would have played differently.
I actually only looked at the king. Whatever.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I need the first card to be the ace, and then maybe I just call dirt. But the first card was the 6, and I was like,
You kind of talked stuff out of it.
and that's all the ace. And I was like,
10-8 suited for Bridge Mike, one of my favorite hands.
Classic 10 to 20 big
You would
blind.
have won it
Gonna
anyway.
get some action from some loose action here from King
Well, I
8.
would have run it twice.
Colin's just gonna squeeze it up with King Jack from the straddle.
Buddy, you're playing tournaments. You're trying to play 25K pots.
Definitely a fine play. It can be very tempting to overcall from your blinds just because you're getting a good price. But you should mix in some 3-bet bluffs. Try and push out some of your opponent's weaker portions of the range, or at least get a heads up. King Jack, a fine candidate to do so.
Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's a good way to make a living.
Never a bad thing to pick up some money uncontested.
You know how mad you would have been if I just had like ace
I think
there.
everyone's
Not at all. I think
How do you roll 800 win again?
no, yeah, every tournament player
it was a setup to this.
with taxes, tax structure, and like rake and expenses of traveling.
Stop playing like it's so weak.
Fucking glory. Buddy.
Yeah, all the best players. That's just in my opinion. That's probably not true.
You can just play, you can just be a live stream channel, icon and have the glory.
All squads left.
Ace Queen,
I know, right?
mix of flats and 3-bets here, leaning towards mostly 3-bets on the button.
Losses, so you can't get enough volume in, where you get punished more for your winning years than for your losing years.
Just gonna get it through. Get rid of his nip button, make a couple bucks.
And dink one of them. That's the strategy.
But then once you think now, you gotta fire everything, right?
JD opening a little wide there, trying to get rid of his nip button.
My
Wise
taxes
enough to
forced me fight.
not get too out of line.
Yeah, of course.
Looks like JD.
I think I really screwed because tournament champions was a whole different year. So you guys really
Actually, they didn't even give me a
Rich
W2
Mike
for
maybe
that.
having
It
his
was weird.
buttons.
Like, they said because it was a free roll. It's like some other tax form.
Tax brackets are progressive.
So I don't know how that's gonna work.
So you only pay like the higher.
I think you hit the fits and lost it all.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
so I see what you mean.
Wait, I don't have that
For
20K.
10K, you gotta pay like 10K, the highest one.
Show them the stream.
Yeah, that's why I play this.
Guys gotta figure it out.
I have no money left, guys.
Daniel also has his nip button left.
You see how I play.
Rich Mike, Daniel both trying to get rid of that button here.
Answer account answer.
JD's gonna also come along. Jack 2. Rich Mike with the flush draw. Daniel with second pair.
I think I'm gonna start playing 1-2 here. Go for it.
Sounds pretty fun.
Well, that's a unique game. That's like a. I think that's 1-3.
They said it was 1-2.
1-3. Yeah, it's like a special meetup type of
And
game.
a flush straight away for Bridge Mike. Doesn't have a crazy strong flush draw here. Has about as bad as you can get here, but he still does have a gutter to the straight flush if he is somehow behind.
Let it go, man.
And ranges are going to be a little bit wider with nip button play here, so still feeling quite comfortable.
That's a tough spot.
I caught him talking to himself.
That is a very tough
Oh, yeah.
spot.
Going quick.
It's your fucking idea.
Go about half pot and just get the
It's
full.
actually as fun as we were last time.
Well, you have a lot of 7s and 8s and stuff like that. Straight flush?
Almost.
Straight ash. Garbage ash flush.
No, he's
Straight ale flush.
he can't move on too far. Yeah.
Hey, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Help me actually. Help me.
50, 100. Haha, psych.
Oh yeah, they're getting another shuttle on 25, 50, 100.
Do the thing here. Let's do the
2,
thing.
4, 8, 16, 32, 64.
See, no, I've fallen for that scam before.
Me too. I think I dealt 3 cards in my hand.
30 big.
That's 100 on.
For 1600.
And you had
I think you're the 800.
800.
That happened.
I did have it.
Yeah, I was the 1600.
Very fun.
That's a bad.
Yeah, that happened here.
Was there a reaction, I guess?
I
Like,
gave my money back.
Pocket sixes, gonna go 3x to straddle here. Early position.
900.
Is a little bit different when you have this many straddles on. Shows you he's the hijack, but basically the under the gun player. So many players behind in the blinds getting a good price. King Jack gonna put in a 3-bet on the button. Mostly flats on the button, sometimes 3-bets.
enough of this garbage ass bullshit.
What's today? Ah, sweet. Go see Dave Chappelle.
Six is gonna set mine here.
He's in Fort Worth Friday too.
About 64 big blinds effective here with the $100 straddle on.
And it's been probably like 15 years since I've seen him.
Harris has the 6 of diamonds working for him, but he's not loving it at all. And Daniel has no diamonds, but has top pair. Very connected board. Probably gonna put in small bet or check. Check's fine.
Maybe. Not bad. Yeah.
Very tricky to play.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't hateful. Big horse for tickets. I can't. I'll tell you later.
Bad card for Daniel here. Still 4 to a flush, 4 to a straight on board. But he may have to pick off some small bets here in case Harris is turning a hand into a bluff here. He'll beat some bluffs for sure. I think I like, yeah, $300-400, like very nice sizing. Kind of force Daniel to make some calls here. If he folds a hand like trip jacks, it's just gonna be too hard to defend at the minimum frequency. 400 to win what's gonna be 2,800, so 1/7. So he only has to be good 14% of the time. Out of all the hands that get here, checking through trip jacks has to be pretty up there. Might be turning his hand into a bluff here. He's trying to rep a boat here. Somehow got here. Be a very tough call for sixes. Recognizes that Harris is going to have complete air here a lot of the time, and sometimes very weak portion of his value range. Exactly like what he has. You can reasonably rep a hand here like pocket jacks, maybe jack 8, something that's not trying to put too much money in the pot control a little bit, and then gets like the worst turn card in the deck, but gets to see the river, makes the boat. Very interesting texture and line here. Harris is gonna shove.
High hands. You get a bonus.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't even have it though.
Oh, wow.
You have a straight flush, and you only one card has to play here for a high hand.
I think I had
Interesting
I
jam.
had a straight flush. I may have had a straight flush there.
It's the only place I've ever seen it.
Ace of diamonds is
What a
good,
stud.
probably. I'm 90% sure I pulled like a 7 of diamonds.
I'm also pretty sure I pulled a queen of diamonds.
I'm 100% sure I didn't.
Harris just going to take it down.
Anybody has seven
Nice hand.
diamonds? We'll find out later.
Be interested to hear the some of the analytics on that. Too bad
Six off.
Cashman's not in here.
Queen of diamonds. Six
I either had the nut flush or the.
I think I had 17 or 19.
I don't mind.
Like to hear their opinion on that. Cashman or
Six off there.
Chris Beeman.
Nickname's great, huh, Don?
Card to.
Nickname's great. He's like, oh,
The
that
issue is I lose to bluffs. So
I lose
the
to
issue.
bluffs.
He was bluffing with the best. You guys are both so
Sort of
brave.
nice to have a rooting.
It's such an interesting spot. It really does
That I wasn't in there.
just take so many stones to rip a hand like sixes there. Four to a straight flush on board. You feel like a complete idiot whenever they just they just immediately did. I call and they show like a queen. But I mean, you even get folds from ace and king of diamonds there. AJ is going to take down 3-4. Easy game.
Is that obvious? Let's see my cards.
He's come back a little bit. He was stuck stuck I think like 6K earlier. He's only stuck 2.6 thousand now. At these stakes, it's not too shabby. Nice recovery. See how he goes from here. See if he can come back all the way. Maybe book a win.
I believe you.
Harris with the highest aggression frequency, followed by Colin and Seinfeld. Colin with the 10s, very standard.
About damn time.
AJ is gonna 3-bet the ace-10 suited. Bit of a large sizing here. Gonna see a call from Colin. Good flop for AJ to barrel on. Colin pretty much hates his life, but has to call one. Against this sizing, he may be able to fold. Fairly large bet. A bit more polarizing. If AJ bets like a quarter pot, he almost certainly calls. When he goes a bit bigger, he just go ahead and finds the fold.
Have a chance.
Heads up again.
Have a chance.
He could 4-bet the 10s at a small frequency against the button 3-bet. Against an aggressive player like
six
AJ.
hands, like, 6 people got cleared instantly.
10s is a good enough hand that
Quick.
you can definitely get some value.
Should be it.
Still be ahead. Wouldn't want to get too out of line with the 4-bets with hands like pocket 9s or 10s, but sometimes you can work them in against the right opponent, right position. Nine-8 suited versus ace queen now. JD's going to put in a 3-bet, 225.
Danny, I've been trying to emulate your fold action. I can't quite get the wrist action. You got
I charge for lessons.
For inequity.
I'm down about 1,800. I charge 1,800.
Not what Colin was looking for.
150.
JD doesn't mind this texture very much. He's going to take it down, get rid of the nip button.
But
I was like,
good, good.
Let's just make sure it's done.
Gracias.
Oh, nice.
Ah,
Free money, yeah.
yeah.
Get my straddle back.
All right, one more orbit, then we start again, maybe?
Yeah.
Looks like they're going to try and get that Nick game going one more time
Hand and then another
after this orbit.
Dunlop.
Like I don't do junkie very
We've got about an hour left in the stream.
It's mine. I'm holding on.
Over 100 viewers.
We'll see how it's
About
coming. It has to be
90
before
something hands in here.
It's almost 9-ish.
We do one
Probably
more
get about
9 o'clock. How about that? I don't know, the button will
25
be over here somewhere.
more hands in, give or
Perfect.
take.
Okay. We'll do one last one at 9 o'clock.
Kings for Daniel.
Thanks.
Under the gun.
Still trying to get rid of this one.
Call.
See, JD plays a little conservative here. He doesn't want to 3-bet too much against that under the gun open.
Just ignore this time.
So he's going to flat some above average strength hands here just to
I usually stress eat
respect
after
that
there's
open
just, like, losing,
a bit. Danny, the same thing, queen jack suited. Just takes the flat, single raise pot here. Some premium hands all around.
No, we didn't say that.
Good board to go for a check raise sometimes here.
Except for the brownie.
You got to check your overpairs sometimes.
So good.
Protect your checking range.
I'm trying not to order.
Goes for a small check raise here, 400 bucks. Danny's pretty much recognizes that it's going to be a hand like aces or kings here, but he's in position and has a gut shot, 2 overs, backdoor flush draw. It'll be very playable, and it's much better board texture for him overall, so probably see a float here.
Honestly, I'd be like, can I just pay everyone and just sit right now?
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting hand, Alvin. Wow, big card here for Daniel. If he wasn't ahead already, he certainly is now. Just a question of what do you bet? You know, when you block the top cards, sometimes it can be hard to get some action. He knows that he can still get action from second pair holdings and hands like pocket nines, pocket jacks. It is only a single raise pot, but Danny's definitely going to flat jacks here sometimes, given that under the gun open and flat from JD. The ranges are just stronger than you'd expect. It would not surprise me to see him have a hand like jacks there sometimes. And Danny's got open-ended now. It would have been nice to see the king of spades for him, but still has to continue here.
Good times.
Daniel's just loving this spot. Backdoor boat. Trying to figure out what he can bet here to get the absolute maximum. What can Danny have here that bet calls a raise, calls a turn bet, and now on the turn here, whenever you've got the absolute nuts.
You got my best side that way.
Hard for Danny to have too many nutted hands here, aside from pocket 8s and pocket 10s. So Daniel can try and target those hands, or go a little bit smaller and target a wider portion of his range. Try and get called by a weaker king X or pocket jacks or ace 10. Looks like he goes a little bit smaller. Just not enough super strong hands Danny can have to go super polarizing here. So that's about 1.2 and a 2.6, a little bit less than half pot. Danny, of course, only has to be good here about 20% of the time. We see here he only has queen high, but he could entertain turning his hand into a bluff here. You know, if he goes for a check raise here against a hand like aces, he may get some folds. Ace king or aces. Repping some of those hands we mentioned, pocket 10s, pocket 8s. Pocket 3s would be in there too, although it's only one combo. Got about 7 value hands he can rep here to go for a raise with. Put a hand like aces in a really tough spot. He's definitely thinking about it. Just opts to let it go. Recognize that Daniel just very strong here.
I'll keep it.
Bluff's not going to work nearly often enough. It's too narrow of a range to represent. Good on him for thinking, though, and trying to find a bluff in that spot. It's always good to take a moment and really think about the ranges and decide what you can actually accomplish or get away with. You're going to find a lot of edges in poker if you can find spots to pull the trigger. Queen 8 versus Ace 7 here. Colin flopping the best of it. Seinfeld's got some back doors, but not really looking to get too crazy. Only a queen or an 8 now. Yeah, unfortunately, he does block some of those weaker hands that would fold. I think he was mostly thinking of targeting a hand like aces. Not 100% sure. Be interesting to ask him later. The check raise line with overpairs, even though it's advocated for very strongly in solvers, typically isn't taken that much, except with aces specifically. Most people like to get a little bit of protection when they have a hand like kings or queens or jacks to go for the check raise line. So they opt to bet at a higher frequency than they should. Chips here for Colin, looking for a check raise. Just deciding on his sizing. Well played. Just take it down.
$100, $200, $400, $800? All right, 100 on, 100 on. One side. All of us are stuck.
Jacks for Seinfeld. Gonna bump it up $300 here in the cutoff.
Respect.
No one to give him action here, though.
Respect.
Undeserved. Undeserved.
Round of straddles?
Yeah.
Round of 50s?
Anything else?
Just give me a second and we can play 2-5.
JD really trying to juice up the action a little bit.
We're there a long time.
Easiest way to get unstuck is to bump up the stakes. We'll go play Parliament Omaha. Dig yourself deeper or out of the hole real quick.
Hope you guys know.
I've noticed.
You guys are cool. You guys are cool guys. Everyone's a cool guy. Table full of cool guys.
Yeah, we're all talking about RPGs. Yep. Over under on 4 Magic the Gathering players.
Not fucking cool. You guys believe this?
Over under on what? 4 Magic the Gathering. Oh yeah.
Not cool, not cool.
Danny. Danny, 10-8?
What?
10-8, you said you were going to jam the river if the river didn't pair.
What?
What?
The hand we played. You said you were going to jam the river if the board didn't pair. It's like
On
10-8.
a lot of, not all rivers, but a lot of rivers I was going for.
I binked the turn.
You did?
Pow. Yeah.
Well,
The
you
king.
made a lot of money then.
Turn the dealers as you start the shuffle, complete that hand, and stand for 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
I definitely would have jammed on a 9 or an 8. Oh yeah, like aces or ace king, maybe king.
That would have been a sad state of affairs. 9 or an ace.
I would have won all the money.
All the monies.
King 9 suited here for JD. Gonna get some action from the deuce 4. Flush draw for Colin. Definitely one of the lowest possible, but JD with the second nut straight.
Maybe just a 9 or an ace.
Definitely gonna see a raise here. Oh, maybe not.
We'll never know. Maybe another king. Yeah.
Do what?
I'm just kidding.
Another king? One more? Come on, man.
Just gonna let Colin barrel a little bit here.
900. Pile.
Good thing I'm a coward, I guess. And
Except when he has ace 10.
yeah.
Ace 10 off.
I can punt with the best of them, boys. I donate week in, week out. I don't even get a thank you.
Colin overbet a bit here. There's about 710 in the pot, and he bet 900
Good read.
or 610. 610 in the pot. 1.5x overbet.
Sometimes you just gotta look a man in the eyes.
I know.
It would look a little weird to raise here at this point.
I don't think he got it. I'm all in.
Dunn put on his best scared face.
Just gonna call. Probably looks a bit like JD has Queen Jack or Queen
Bet the
10,
scared
Jack
size.
10 here.
Look terrified.
Yeah.
Put on the sign field.
See if Colin pulls the trigger here for
I
the,
really
for the 3 streets.
With how I've been running lately, I was pretty convinced that
Just gonna wave the white flag.
Tank and you're sitting there with quads, just like I gotta give him the tank just before.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, king's full.
This guy's over here turning fucking 6-7 into a bluff and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Check the string.
Yeah, watch the stream.
Watch the string. 17.
1700 and a 24.
Do 3?
Yeah, big clubs, yeah.
I can beat them.
I will check
I
the stream.
should beat them.
It doesn't really
Wait, hold that, by the way.
I know.
You hate this
Tough
six
one.
of spades. You hate this
It's a tough one. Sixes? Sixes? Give me
Always
sixes.
weird to find
What'd you have when you made it?
the raises when your opponent overbets.
So sick. I have so many good hands. I don't have a good hand that time.
I'm sure you have to balance the range against it, and have some raises sometimes, but the range is so polar. Of course, it's unlikely that Colin has very much ace king there given the pre-flop action. So king 9 is pretty much always the nuts. When he bets super big like that, he's kind of saying I have a big draw or a mate like ace king.
You really just had like gutter bounce, like walking
So the raise
outside,
looks
walking the
incredibly
inside,
strong.
Queen can, I was just like,
You're gonna get
Yeah,
tons of
I think it
folds.
always works, honestly, but I wasn't that willing to, to test my theory.
But you do get to charge hands like 9-8 that made third nut straight.
Then it won't play.
What did you have that hand?
I had a jack, and I was turning into a bluff. But small size on river.
Fair enough. He was trying to get you to fold the boat, you know.
Yeah.
Repping the straight flush.
They're trying to get me to bluff him so he can rebuff me. Working like a fucking charm.
Trying to get someone to bluff so you can rebluff.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright, make it.
I still like how the button's always over there.
You still have it. You still have it.
Daniel up a little over 2K now. Harris 4.6. Seinfeld 4.2.
We just chop it up.
Okay, we can chop it. If we bring it in again, we can just, whoever has the left can just chop it.
Another Nick game going on.
Might as well
Are you planning
establish.
on not winning a hand for the rest of the stream?
No, I just wanted to know what.
The last one
Fine
took
by
like
me.
Last night we had problems. We had never
Oh, really?
established that someone left.
The
just
stream
chop it
ends
up.
and like the game's gonna break and there's the game's still going on. We'll just whoever's left will just chop it.
So they split the.
He owes his portion at the time he busts out. So when there's like 6 people, he owes like $150 or something. But we was a little weird because he said he's coming back, so we're like, well, if he comes back really fast, he can still just be in. Yeah. But he's gone for a while, so like, you know.
Oh, he was really honorable. He couldn't have been any nicer about it.
Yeah, I could have just fixed it from the get-go.
6'7" suited for Daniel. 6'3" suited for AJ.
Oh, he's a really class guy. Isn't he?
Still trying to play some pots.
Cool guys.
Trying to mix it up. They just put the Nick game back on. You'd love to get rid of it straight away and not even have to worry about it. Not the flock he's really looking for, though. Much better for Daniel here with the open-ender, backdoor flush draw, and the betting initiative.
You guys are just lucky I'm saving all my run good for the main event. I'm being smart.
When do you leave?
Yeah, when do you leave? The pit. You guys trying to scrape me for a little bit longer before I get out of here?
No, I'm good. I'm good. Not when it comes with $700 in fees. I only want it when it's free.
You want to play on the way to the airport? Yeah. Yeah, that's the button.
Move this so quickly.
Who do we have playing some poker right now in the chat? Anybody in the TCH room playing live right now?
Smack that shit out of it. Cool guys. Cool dudes.
The coolest.
The coolest.
Consider me now famous.
Looked like there were some good games out there when I came in. I wanted to play, but I didn't have enough time. King Queen versus King 10 here. Button raise, complete from the straddle. Both players slopping a flush draw here.
No, poker's way too hard.
Rich Mike with the better end of it. Definitely going to see it continue. Top pair as well for Bridge Mike. He's just far and away ahead now.
Small stack, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the extreme.
Call?
Your stack's usually infinitely small.
Yeah, I definitely recommend firing a bullet in that tourney. The potential value on that tournament is just too good.
I'm saying for next time.
Feels like you just have to play it.
I'll get chance for this bow when I win.
It's optimistic, but okay.
I'll probably fire 1 or 2 bullets on Thursday.
Third-party software. Most online grinders use that for the.
Hopefully I can make a day 2. I haven't made a day 2 since the mystery bounty that we played.
Answer that question.
I usually end up dealing those tournaments though. I work the weekends.
If I were going to use one, I would use Rogue.
Mike or
I stand there for Bridge Mike. Taking the first pot down on the wall.
Nice.
is that pretty much what everyone
Get rid of his knit button, no problem.
Your claim to be cool.
Not cool. I bet the flop. Mike.
Everything.
Well, in other words, it's like the meeting.
I remember how meaningful that is.
I really, literally.
If you are interested in that tournament we just mentioned, I'll throw the graphic up here real quick and take another look. If anyone's just tuning in. 8 flights starting Thursday. 10 a.m., 6 p.m. each day till Sunday.
King Dimes.
And then we got the day 2 on Monday. $250 buy-in, $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. So it should be a pretty good tournament.
Diamond was no longer good.
Phrases like, I'm going to raise you, you're going to rejam on me, with the blood, you know, that's going to be embarrassing.
You're right back in here, though. We got a $50 straddle on. I think they said they were going to do a round of straddles. So it might be 5, 10, 25, 50 every time.
And I don't know if you know this, you could just call the 400.
And we're going to see some flats here. Everyone's trying to see a flop, get rid of their nip button as cheaply as they can.
Maybe win, you know what I mean? Sorry, I wasn't into it.
May have some nefarious intentions with a limp re-raise.
You can't fold trips on stream, so like,
Yeah.
See what they opt for. Ace 5 is a reasonable hand to do it with.
Three of a kind. Well, you're pretty good. Three of a kind.
Just a call from AJ.
Six of spades, I mean.
Don't show me that shit.
JD's gonna let his go.
I'm gonna look at it later, bro. Don't show it to me. What's Alvin teaching this guy?
And an ace for both players with
Alvin taught you that one?
JD in there. Every ace is accounted for.
Don't lie.
Crazy that the ace managed to come out on the flop.
I brained it in. Yeah, reel it in.
Yeah, I tend to like the smaller field tournaments. Obviously, multi-fight tournaments are going to be quite large, but you can play your day 1 on a weekday and have it be a bit smaller field, and then you just navigate the day 2 afterwards. I always feel like I do better when there's 100, 150 people, not the super large ones like 400, 300 in a day. I usually fire a bullet like on one of the weekday flights. If I make day 2, great. If I miss it, I'll try again on like a Friday when it's like super busy. So I do one where it's shallow field and one where it's a deep field to see how it goes. The benefit of the deep field days is that whenever you do make it, you can potentially run up a larger chip stack because there's going to be more like top-heavy chip distribution, so you can get in some big pots with 3rd and 4th place chips more often. But the bubble lasts really long on those sometimes. Ace 5 putting in a raise here on the turn, kind of interesting.
Yeah, I had some of those in the mountains.
These guys I've just like never seen since or whatever, but like just like we play every 2 weeks. I probably still play with those groups, so like, it's just a good time. Yeah, it was a good time.
And they're like, super easy to like win some beer money or whatever. Have a good time.
Those games would always like snowball like a tournament, you know, it's just like starts like kind of pretty small. Then people start getting like a little crazy at the end of it, last word, it's not, it was always last word because like the host is like, I want to go to bed. I don't like last word.
People that are stalker just jam.
Call here from Seinfeld. I think AJ was trying to charge the draws a little bit extra. Very interesting raise there.
Where are you from?
I grew up in Plano. It's Plano West.
Really? My daughter graduated.
Yeah, just trying to charge the draws and buy a cheaper showdown. It's going to be a lot less likely when he puts in that turn min raise that he's going to face a river barrel.
Then or now?
Yeah.
Calling with the highest RFI, raise first in still. AJ 6% behind.
It's like $5, isn't it?
No, I don't think so. I thought it was always 8 to 1.
JD with 9-6 suited. He may decide to play. Nope. Too many players to get through, even with the net button. Danny's going to come in, though. Not going to let us down with the action. Lots of diamonds accounted for. 9-6 of diamonds, 10-8 of diamonds, ace-queen of diamonds. Gonna put in the raise, though. $800.
Chinese yuan and Japanese yen.
$1,000.
The Chinese yuan's like I think it's like 8 to 10 to 1.
Oh, really? So you don't know about yen?
Japanese yen is big. Like it's like
Makes it a little bit more meaty being out of position with the net game on.
Like 80 to 1 ish? Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Something like that. It's like more than it's like I have trouble.
I think 10-8
with
suited
the numbers. Like,
gonna have enough playability here that Danny's gonna opt to call sometimes, fold sometimes.
Decided the conversion rate, so he thinks they're all rich.
Not completely out of the realm of possibility to decide to play with the net game being on. Harris having a bit of a wider range than normal, perhaps.
track of the conversion rate one time. I was there for
You're
work,
deep
I was
enough,
trying to pull out,
and
like,
you're gonna have position, so
500 or something, you know?
don't want to get too out of line too
I
often,
had
but
$500 of, like,
probably
I
fine to
had,
call
like,
sometimes.
expense, so, I was like trying to go to the hotel, like, hey, can I pay part of my bill with this? And then, like, but then I have the expense that it works. It was kind of a pain in the ass. I don't remember what I did. I figured something out.
Still got the $50 straddle on.
Why'd you have to spend it?
Because like when I mean the other option is fly back to the U.S. with $500 worth of Japanese yen. So
But you
like,
couldn't get it back?
you can somehow, but like it's more like if I could just spend it while here and then like
Yeah.
reimburse for it later, like it's way easier.
Gotcha.
Danny's gonna raise up the ace deuce suited here.
Can I just give this like a group dinner?
That reminds me of the meal plan at college, like the end of the semester.
No,
May have been a $100 straddle on. Yeah, $100 straddle as well.
Meal plan? College?
That's why I used the $250 sizing. 5X is very large,
Whenever I,
open
was
for
in
these
college,
stakes.
I never did the no plan. I didn't live on campus, so it's like no
Oh,
point.
yeah.
AJ's just gonna flat with the ace king, and JD now squeezing with pocket tens.
I went to school with them, like at Louisiana Tech for a couple of years.
I went to LSU.
Oh, really? Baton Rouge? Okay. Are you from Louisiana? Or? Went to LSU and Alabama hat on. Wow.
One of my clients gave it to me. It was signed by Saban from the title game. Football signed by both of them. So it's my lucky poker hat.
Gotcha. That's cool.
You went to LSU, Mike? Yikes.
I would have never guessed.
Yikes, he says.
No, just the hat. That's why I,
I
said
know.
yikes.
I'm not going to tell the story again, so
Yeah,
I won't bore you.
I know.
It was a gift.
Yeah.
Sentimental.
I heard something about a friend.
Yeah.
A friend gave it to me.
I think you're more the Kramer than the...
Yeah, that may be the case, Alvin.
Think so?
Not
I'll
100%
grow my
sure
hair a little more as well, yeah.
what the overall strategy looks like with the net game on.
I went to high school in New Orleans, but I lived all through Florida.
I just figured it was a 3-bet from the small blind, so the range doesn't have to be incredibly strong.
Yeah,
Spent a lot of time in Lafayette.
the rest of us great athletes out of there.
Yeah.
The mailman, Terry
There's a $100 straddle that hand as well.
Very like niche college that has quite a few like.
Unbelievable, yeah. One of my best friends here graduated from
Where'd I go?
Tech also.
I'm actually going back.
AJ turning the best of it here. Unfortunately for JD, not liking this turn card at all.
You're like, surely not poker.
Can't be bad. I don't know. It's always good to have a backup plan in life.
Well, yeah, it's free for me, so like I may as well.
8 months.
May as well check the block.
I like it.
Get my degree.
I mean, it has its obviously ups and downs.
I'm lucky I've never
A normal job, right?
worked a day in my life.
So it's
I've been lucky. I don't consider my
still
I
like
play
poker
bridge
like
for a
that,
living,
you know?
so
JD
card game.
might just have to close his eyes and call here. See if he can get away from it.
Just to go wherever
How,
you
like,
want
can
to
you-
win.
Forehand.
2.3 and 4.3.
Familiar, yeah.
Yeah, you can even just go to your
Yeah, just close his eyes, call. Hope he's good, but
go quick trip real quick and back to the basement.
That sounds fun actually.
Kept me off of
Little trappy trap over there, a little call.
I'm going actually to Morocco in August in the World Championship.
I said it.
We had a national championship.
Lucky. You got
We went off in Chicago about a month ago. My team won.
He's the destroyer of pens.
How much variance is there in the game?
6.
Let it go.
It's pretty skillful. High level, yeah. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Are you from Louisiana as well? No.
I went to Lone Star.
Landing on 6.
Oh, I see. LSU. I got you. Took me a minute. That's why I didn't graduate my first time through.
You have no fucking chance. Just don't go back. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm drunk though. It's okay though. It's free. It's like a free roll, you know?
Mike, you still play a lot of bridge?
Real lot.
A lot?
Just moved out
He's the
here.
world champion. Yeah, I'm like oblivious. I'm sorry. But it should be. You don't know
Actually,
him?
just won what they call the team trials. I'm going to Marrakesh, the World Championship in August.
Where is that?
It's in Morocco.
Wow. Sick.
You're so full of shit.
JD takes it out 10-8 suited.
We finally broke
Manages to
him,
get rid of
boys.
his nip button. I think they've not been going JD's way.
So, like, relative to poker, how much do you play bridge?
That's dominating.
When I'm not playing, before the pandemic, I was playing a lot more. I play a lot online and tournaments, and I just play the big stuff now.
Heads up, Danny.
Yeah. Thank you.
Heads up, buddy.
I don't mind losing another 800.
I actually like the
Perfect night.
people that are in poker.
Oh, even better. You like the people? Oh,
Yeah, the players. Certain
Seinfeld
exceptions.
waking up with aces. Make it 150. Harris makes discipline laid out, 10-9 suited. Very easy to look down at that and decide to try and get involved, but on the gun opens are so strong and you have so many players behind.
Make the kids sweat a little bit, you know? This heads up in the...
Always feel like such a nit folding a hand like that, but it's definitely the correct play. Decent flop here for Seinfeld. Not too likely his opponents have a king. Doesn't have a club in his hand, meaning that he's going to be able to get some action more often than not. Not this time, though.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Dumb and Dumber, greatest comedy ever.
Yes.
I know this. The pet.
The pet detective.
It's like so quotable. Too.
Yeah, the opening scene was,
Yeah.
that movie was
The kick in the box on the hallway. Yeah.
Did the
Harris going to go ahead and open up the ace-9 suited. Going to get a little bit of action. Probably 3-bet here from AJ, I imagine. Find a flat, but lean towards a 3-bet. Don't want to play too many pots out of position post-flop. Harris going to let his hand go wisely. Mike's going to be deep enough, though, that he may opt to set mine. Nope.
It's a good thing I didn't flip him over. Mike, I
She
didn't
had a
even
good read
know
on
you were
that.
anywhere in the scene here.
It's the story of my life.
Set you up for that one.
See if they keep these straddles going. They were doing the 50. Yep, there's the 50.
Cool guy. Cool dude. Sorry.
Don't think Mike's going to put on the 100, but 50 is plenty large enough stakes for sure. Looks like Danny and Daniel have their nip buttons left. No, that's Colin. Colin has his left.
The girls came in and let me go full table.
exchange.
Like 2-5 round of each.
He's on fire at the stuff yesterday.
Cool dudes and cool ladies.
AJ's gonna open up a button with pocket fives.
Why were you on it?
Jacks again. We've seen a lot of jacks. Seinfeld's had his fair share of overpairs here.
Oh, yeah, two.
Yeah, somebody in the play with him a dozen times. They're great at it.
Oh, yeah, poker bunny.
And drink it.
It's really
Yeah,
fun.
remember?
Have you
Long
ever
ass
been
time.
to a
Oh, no, not Elise. She plays on one time. Years ago.
I went to
Years ago.
the beach, a bar one time.
What's that? Poker bunny?
Yeah.
So it's like 2 years ago.
I forgot about that.
Sheldon.
You said the kid party was cool.
You should try it. Sheldon.
AJ's gonna complete here with pocket fives.
Not that far from me then.
Play a hand in
Kitty
position.
was here, Maury.
If you like fishing.
She left every stream early. Hit and run.
AJ's got 5 or 7 here for his outs.
I remember Poker Bunny was like tanking so much.
Seinfeld managed to flop an overpair with his jacks.
Gotta think through all that.
Always nice not to see the ace, king, or queen, or the like 4, 5, 6 suited.
Open and then she folded. Solid play.
He's popping a few fills with it.
AJ is gonna have a lot of pocket pairs here that make sets though. Some suited connectors that make 2
Spread
pair.
arms wide and make sure and peel them very low.
A lot of pair plus straight draw, 2 pair set kind of hands. So overall,
Then she would peek them like
good board for AJ here.
A neurotypical individual.
she would peek them in the tank and then peek them.
We'll go for the delay bet
There
strategy.
was a hand where she peeked her hand.
Not
4
trying to
times
bloat
and
this
then
pot
still
up
messed her
too much. Now he's going to try and make up for some of that that flop value missed out on. Expects AJ to be betting a large portion of his range on this kind of board. When he checks, he's going to be a bit weaker.
She had like
Wouldn't surprise me if AJ was supposed to bet like 80% when checked to. His check range is going to be a bit weak. That's why he's going to go a little bit bigger here. Try and make up for some of that lost value and really charge any of those draws.
Probably good. I'm gonna let you keep it. No. So all you. That's it.
Oh, AJ above the rim.
He said he thought he had the best hand.
My folder. He snapped me with words. Like a 1-chip snap.
Snippety snap that.
Tiffany snap. You beat me in every hand today. Every hand this month. Just wait till next month. Just wait till next month,
I
baby.
won't be here next month.
Please.
I'm
Final
pretty
table.
Much, I'm pretty much
Final table.
after this Saturday. I'm gone for a month and a half.
Poker house when it was open.
Thank God I'll have,
Yeah, actually, I'll say that might be good.
I have a chance again.
I was actually surprised how
After
long
the whole series, we're taking the kids on a vacation for the school starts. You wouldn't know anything.
I'm gonna go on a bridge tour. You know?
Yeah, it's a lot of his range is like either a snap check or just like a easy bet. So when he's tanking, he's like in a very middling portion of his range there. Yeah, definitely makes some sense.
Yeah.
Civil engineer. That's honestly what I thought at first.
Somebody asked me yesterday, like, I heard you're civil engineer. And I was like, Cooper was telling people that. People just believe me. Like, oh, okay. Bridge Mike.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Pocket eights here for Bridge Mike.
I know some overpasses.
That's what I
I know some overpasses. Not a lot of bridges around here, but I know
That's how
some
much I know
overpasses.
about
How high?
bridge.
Fucking high.
Because they gotta be like
Oh, yeah. They're
Whiff
high.
for both players.
margin of error and all that.
They're high.
Better board here for Danny. Doesn't need to go too big. He's going to accomplish everything he needs to with a small bet.
Oh boy.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
Five this way.
Yeah, you know, not fun.
One more time?
I don't think we have time.
Not a bad.
No.
So you've lost 2 and JD's lost 2? That game? I
lost
lost
And
1.
then one.
Don lost one.
It was done.
Don lost one.
We both lost one. JD lost 2. You lost one, I think.
You
lost 2.
You lost 2, yeah.
2-6.
So we did 6 then.
I need us to do at least 12. But I only hope. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Let's sign up
Alright,
now.
so the rest of the stream we do 7
500
deuce
person.
then, right? Yes?
Oh,
everyone?
yeah. I'm not fucking.
Trying to sell the Deuce 7 game at the end of the stream.
Sure, I don't care.
It's gonna be a tough sell.
How much?
Not this hand. Not this hand.
Have you done?
Not this hand.
Did you look at my hand?
So did we all agree on that or what?
I don't know.
It was
King 10 for Colin here.
I mean, after
Bit of a
the
loose
same
open.
For all four.
It says the low jack. Gotta remember with these straddles, that's an EP open.
Write
Very,
off my loss and go to bed.
very early. Probably a king
You still
queen.
play 7 deuce for the last 15
Like
minutes?
theoretical
Yeah, how
minimum
much?
open, something like that.
Should it be
100.
same?
100.
Same?
I mean,
King queen off,
I
king
don't know.
jack
I don't know.
suited.
So what we want to pay is 100 to the guy.
King 10 suited is probably fine as well.
Well, I mean, if you win with a
win.
7
Yeah. If you win.
well, usually you're gonna bluff.
If you hit a pair, it doesn't count.
100. Look.
Or if you hit more than one pair, it doesn't count. That's the opposite of the queen's plus game.
Yes, then everyone, everyone.
We're on.
Getting near the end here.
Degenerate gamers
100.
over here.
15, 20 minutes left in the stream. See if we can squeeze a few more big pots in here.
Oh, never mind.
See some more interesting plays. Seen a few hands tonight. Very, very dynamic, interesting boards.
I'll allow it. I'll allow
Definitely
it.
some spots that I was looking at. Like I'm not really sure what the best plays here are at all. Normally I've got like a
What are you doing? What's
passable understanding of the spots. But
300.
tonight it's been
I'll allow
like
it. I'll allow it as well.
would you go this way or that way? Or,
Did you look
I'm
to
not sure
cards?
actually. Maybe this, maybe
After
that.
his and before yours.
Yeah, I said I wanted to be
interesting.
straddled. That was a
I'll
whole
allow
point.
it.
Deep into the
Good, yeah.
Who's Mr. Regis?
I didn't look. I promise.
I know. I believe you. I looked.
Not many spots are
He'll play sometimes.
very conclusive in this game. More and more you start to study, the
4 for
more you start to think,
more money than
holy crap, I've been really stupid for a really long time.
So that's another reason why it's not
We're talking seriously.
focus, guys.
yeah, well, get away with those.
Ace king suited versus queens here.
Something like that, yeah.
Classic setup.
Raise and I three
I
bet.
think maybe it was 7 cards.
Somehow only a single raise pot here, I think.
Yeah, I had a
Gotta-
triple
gotta
barrel,
be 3 bet pot.
Crazy.
I don't think our action tracker is correct.
Times my net worth.
Could be.
Actually, it worked. Thank God, but it was not a smart decision. Yeah.
AJ has played some
He had like a pair of sixes too.
some
on
tricky
like-
ace kings
like a
so
middle
far.
pair. My heart was beating out of my
JD's
chest.
loving this board with queens though. It's almost certain he has the best hand.
That's what you call
Just a
the
question
call.
of sizing here.
He was
Board is
tanking
paired,
too
so
on
typically you
river.
go with the smaller
Tanking
sizing,
was
but
great.
yeah, he's gonna go for the max.
5, 10, 25.
You're so lucky, dude. I played this a little wrong, by the way.
AJ, you're the lucky one there. That's supposed to be like
You're so
a very large pot
Queen
pre-flop.
horrible.
You saved a lot of money.
That's it.
Getting tricky there, saving thousands,
I did not. I promise I didn't look.
maybe even his entire stack.
Before I allowed it.
Yeah. You looked and you allowed it. You see all the angles, don't you?
Mr. Ace King suited over in the shadow.
Condition
Call.
over here.
And I just
Yeah,
left.
that was just a single raise pot. Really interesting.
So you're the one who got the reads. You got the 6
All the
reads.
angles doesn't have to
See, it
stone
worked out for you.
play out.
I gave away all the information. I said, yeah, go ahead.
Dust.
That's the funniest thing I've ever.
But I should have been like, no, you're not on the channel. I'm already open. And you're like, okay. And then you raised. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I should have been, yeah, that's what I should have. Fuck.
He definitely has 10 to 900.
Colin here with the
You guys know I
3 bet with the ace jack off.
Yeah, you're good.
Re-squeezing out of the straddle.
Started.
Just gonna take it down.
It's like, you'd have to be really deep.
Wait, what do you want? Sorry.
Oh, he thought it was 7 no.
Oh, no.
It didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, no.
We're not doing
Seinfeld up about 8K, Harris up about 5, Daniel up 2.
You're 5.
I'll be all on you. I'll be all on you.
I get the right one round to play his back.
That makes more sense now.
We have 9 blinds going, so I mean.
Yeah.
Where's
Yeah,
my hand not good enough to call for
Yeah.
Yeah?
Both hands, huh?
He's folding. What do I got?
I'm so good.
This guy.
that's 5 per run. That's like a year ago.
Seinfeld with nines again. He's gotten so many pocket pairs tonight. Doing fairly well with them as well. It's about 1 in 17 to be dealt a pocket pair, and it's going to be even less than that to get dealt the good ones.
Some deuce blockers.
So he's definitely above average here. 113 hands in.
Deuce ball.
That's how it goes though, right? You
Where'd
finish
you get the
7 deuce
walk
game
with the
on, all of a
7
sudden
deuce?
nobody
That's
can get
gotta
7 deuce. It's all you
So I had him like 18 times.
Should
Yeah.
have had about
Walk with the 7
4,
deuce.
you know, relatively premium pocket pairs or so.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
I think he's had like 7 or 8.
I don't know. I don't think so. Oh.
AJ still sporting the highest V pip.
George was here. Or if he like could call his exact hand, he got like what was it?
Oh yeah.
1,000, like 1,200 to 1 or something.
Remember if you got 7 of like 2
Yeah, so
specific
he picked red 7s. If he's like, if I get them
35,000.
red 7s, he's like betting 25 to win.
$50 straddle on this hand from Danny.
Something like that.
Seinfeld opening up the 6s.
And he actually like the next day he hit it on one of them.
Like, we did it for like he did it with Steven for a while, and then he did it with me for like on and off for probably like 6 hours or 7 hours.
He set himself like the thinnest edge.
See a
Well,
3
he was
bet here.
losing the bad side of his barrel
Colin,
or something.
$600. You have to be careful, even on the, even from the small blind. Even though you 3 bet a decent portion of your range, this is a early position open under the gun, basically, with the $50 straddle. So Seinfeld's range is going to be fairly tight here.
Like he just has to like say this hand I get dealt this.
This is the bottom of his opening range. He's not opening much worse pairs wise, maybe pocket 5s.
I know.
So he's just gonna opt to let this one go.
In my head, I'm like, all right, lead on the straights. But then I got there, and I'm like, he's always bluffing here. Just check.
Doesn't want to run
I
into
was not a fan.
pocket 10s or something.
Worst play of the night.
Only about 1 in 8 to flop a set.
Glory always
haven't seen him.
offers the deal or
Yeah, first the trips.
the trips. They get the ticket. Pretty cool.
I immediately regretted
The
it.
game was good.
Yeah.
Felt good.
Especially when I snap full.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I made like 1,500, but like the 30K risk, would have hurt. Would have hurt.
Not the first or the last bad play I'll make. Probably not even tonight.
Daniel going to raise up. King Jack from the cutoff. AJ going to come along with King 10 off.
That's, yeah, it's camo.
You did it on purpose that way.
I'm learning all the angles from you.
I'm watching.
And Initiative's going to take it down there for Daniel. Usually does the trick. Queen 9 suited for Danny. Gonna raise it up from his big blind. And Ace Jack made it a clean purple chip there. Go ahead and just let it go.
Prove it. Prove it. best player.
Jam's not the best player.
Not the best.
Sweating it. Sweating the 7 deuce for real.
A few more hands left here. See if we can squeeze in one more big pot.
Bet 7 deuce.
Yeah.
For 700 ahead.
All right, JD, you ready?
You guys are crazy.
You're four. You're
I
four.
can't afford this shenanigans.
I'm 4. How am I affording not the button?
I've slowly punted off like
I'm so
400
stuck.
times.
I'm so stuck.
What is wrong with you?
I'm so stuck.
That's a lot to ask.
Come on, Danny. What time? It's free.
No, no, no.
You're probably getting a tournament spot.
No, 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 no.
Danny, you know how to play 15 bigs better than any of us.
I don't think that's even
10
true.
big? What?
You guys think I'm like good because I want to.
No, but like, look at this fucking table with a bunch of morons.
No, I just know that we're all really shit.
I've rolled that anything you would have called. See, like that's like free.
Well, I know that. I
20,000.
know 8
Says the guy who's really stuck. What happened?
Somehow folded to you guys again.
Me and the best.
AJ's gonna get a little frisky here. 9-3 versus King 9. Looked like it was a $400 straddle there. So I imagine we're gonna see a raise here. Calling's fine too, but
Like if I was
good
Jamie
candidate
Gold,
here to put in a little 3-bet.
He's got to be the best.
I know that AJ's an aggressive player.
I mean,
Just call.
Jamie Gold's
If you're
got
not-
15 bigs on lock.
if you're not the best tournament player here, what are you doing with your free?
If you ever get a chance to look at some of the heads-up charts,
I just play him for fun.
start to mix in some hands like that as 3-bets.
I'm a wreck now.
That's exactly what a good professional is saying.
No,
It is exactly the same.
I knew I couldn't hang, so I got a job.
AJ here with the
my free time.
max heart.
Yeah, to make you sound even smarter.
AJ's just wishing that he had a King 9 of spades
I'm pretty
instead.
shit at it. Like you said, ChatGPT makes me a lot better.
ChatGPT is insane for programming.
It is, yeah.
King High is
it's turned
definitely
me
good
into,
here
like,
sometimes.
an actually
Beat lots of
Yeah.
lots of random suited
Me and a
connectors.
friend were like, so I said, so long ago,
How'd you dominate
ChatGPT
it?
did like 95%.
No
of it.
shit.
I had a better 9. I had a better 9 than you. It's just nice.
All right, guys.
Open.
All in 35 big blind. All in.
Come on, come on.
Yeah, you can open jam it with 2.7% frequency.
Come on, JD.
That's probably right.
Come,
That sounds about
come, JD. All right, Danny.
I don't know.
You guys stop looking at me like that.
Looks like we got a $200 straddle on this hand.
JD is losing his mind over here.
Really
Just
trying to
let
get
it
some
happen. It's so good.
get some big pots in here.
We're trying to speed the process up if you don't mind throwing these.
All right, last one.
So the next one, or? Oh, okay.
It's not working out like it usually does.
You guys should just agree to just jam blind.
Colin's gonna jam here. About 26 big blinds.
What's the ICN?
Got to get through 2 players here. Basically a 25 big blind button shoving range if you're looking at tournament charts. With the other straddles and stuff in there that make up about what the antes are. A little bit less.
5K.
Little over 5K.
Let's go.
Seems relatively fine for most players.
One time. I sued Broadway.
Suited Broadway.
Were you guys running it once or
One
twice?
time.
You see a lot of like 25 big blind shoves from hands like pocket 3s,
What have you been
4s
waiting for?
that are really trying to maximize
Oh,
that
okay.
that fold equity.
Wait,
Can't be that dead.
Plus draw now for JD.
10.
Clever at
He
10.
literally can't be
he's
dead.
got the ace.
No bueno.
Oh my
Holy
god.
This guy bricked the world.
Nice hand for calling there.
This guy bricked the world.
Definitely takes some stones to actually jam in the money.
Well, I think this
Even if
part's
it's
Yeah.
like you can prove it
I didn't want to call.
looking at some charts and stuff like, oh yeah, it's technically fine. Just stick in 5K, but they say it also pretty tough. That's a pretty close spot. It might be like
I actually feel
1 or 2 pips off of GTO, but it'll work fine. You'll get enough fold equity.
What?
Good. How much?
Don't look at me, I don't know anything. 2 people behind.
I give you the 10.
It's like, he's like, oh, it's like 5K. It turns out
I think
7.8.
you can do it like 30% free this year.
Wait, was it really? No. I feel bad.
Definitely not the most profitable way to play it, but but in a vacuum, it's probably. And match equilibrium.
Couldn't quite hear what Danny thought about it. He'd be probably the best suited to break down the hand at the table with the tournament expertise.
Next to 700.
That is true. You're going to be way over bluffing that spot.
Flip. Let's go.
200?
400.
Two.
$200 straddle again. No, $200 flip. Doing $200 flip. Be the last stand of the stream, it looks like.
Couldn't get roasted by Danny again.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you all. Sorry we had sorry again for the issues we had early on in the stream with the internet outage. But we appreciate everyone tuning in and the good vibes in the chat. It's nice talking a little bit of strategy with you guys. Always good to hear what people think about the hands and what people think about the commentary. Just a reminder, if you'd like to play on the stream, you can contact Mallory, TCH Live, DTX, TexasCardHouse.com. And we also have that tournament coming this weekend. The $250 buy-in, 200K guaranteed. Flights running Thursday through Sunday. See who we can wrap this up here. Looks like JD winning another flip. 9 high flush.
Wait, he's live. Who's live? How? Oh, I guess he's bigger.
No, Jay.
Well, everybody, come and visit us if you'd like to play at TCH. Thank you all to our chat regulars and anyone new who came in the stream. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Pleasure hanging out with you guys tonight. And I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. And have a good one.
Good game, guys. See you in a month or so.
I should have fun this one.